Service has issued now a tornado warning for Crittenden County, Poinsett County, and Mississippi County until 3:45 this afternoon. Now, we've been talking about a tornado watch throughout the morning, afternoon. Conditions are favorable. Now we're into a warning, and if you are in the towns that we are going to pop up on the screen, you need to go to your safe spot and just look, hunker down, and we will get you through this storm. We're not trying to scare you unnecessarily, but you got to listen to us because this is a tornado warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service. And these are the towns in the path. If I call your town name, go to your place of safety now. Tyronza at 2:58, Dias at 3:05, Lepanto at 3:05, Etowah at 3:12, Caraway at 3:13, Kaiser at 3:12, Osceola at 3:17, Luxora, you're in the path of this, 3:20, 3:21, and Manila and Dell at 3:22. So you have a little bit of lead time, but not much. If you are in Tyronza, again, you need to go to your safe spot immediately as a tornado warning has been issued. You want to be on the first level of any structure that you're in. Please do not go outside and try to find the tornado. You want to cover your head, be away from windows, and remain in the interior part of the structure wherever you are. This is now serious, folks. The radar is indicating significant area of rotation. This is going to be northeast of Earl, north of I-40. These things have been tightening up throughout the afternoon, strengthening, and I really think from now up until about 5, 6 o'clock is when that most active of the weather is going to be. All right, so we gave you a storm track. Here is the velocity product, and what we don't want to see, but what we are seeing is the red colors and the green colors coming together, and that indicates winds going in a different direction in a very small area, very fast, and that's what we're seeing now, and that's what has prompted the National Weather Service to issue this tornado warning. Let's go back to the regular radar, because I know it can be confusing for people. We've got a lot of colors on here. But here is Tyronza, Mark Reed, Lepanto. To give you a perspective, Memphis is down here in Shelby County. So we are talking Crittenden County bumping up against the Mississippi River. So these are the towns in the path. Joyner, Wilson, Kaiser, Osceola. Let me tell you right now, if you are about to go up I-55 and you're in Memphis or really anywhere, do not do that. You could be driving into a tornado. This is a very serious situation, and I'm seeing the lightning tick up in here as well. And this is not the only area that we're worried about this afternoon. Let's come back out to a wide view. Because there is a certain storm that we need to watch carefully, and it's this one south of Oakland right now. This has characteristics of developing into a supercell thunderstorm, and this entire line is headed toward the Mississippi River. Again, here's Memphis and Shelby County, South Haven, West Memphis, technically not in this tornado warning, but look, the line is headed your way as well. North Mississippi, a good bit of this is going to be coming across your area, and that will be strengthening as the afternoon goes along. Again, the next 2 to 4 hours is when the worst of the weather is going to be. So for those under the tornado warning, I want to put up the tornado tips. Trevor, will you go through the tornado tips for all those in the warning right now? And then we're going to check in with Danielle with the radar. But Trevor, I want to toss to you for the tips right now.
John, for sure, if you're in this tornado warning, we need you to seek shelter right now. That's your first and primary concern. We want you to go to an interior room on the lowest floor of the building that you're currently in, whether that's an office building, a home, a car, a shelter, a school, whatever it is. You have to find the lowest floor you can get to and seek shelter on an interior room away from windows. Put on your shoes and, like I said, cover your head if you can and avoid those windows. And most importantly, if you're in a car or a mobile home right now or you know someone that might be, you have to find a more substantial shelter. So if you are driving up 55 right now or you know someone that might be, they've got to pull over and stop at a gas station, a restaurant, a McDonald's, anything you can find that is a more substantial shelter. We absolutely do not want you in a car during this tornado warning. And as far as where you are in your home, again, if this is your house, we want you in that interior most room. That's typically a bathroom or a closet, again, away from windows. Again, if you're just joining us, tornado warning in effect for Crittenden, Poinsett, and Mississippi counties in eastern Arkansas until I believe 3:45. And if you're in that area right now, we need you to seek shelter right now.
Yeah, and it is coming up I-55 as we speak, and this is a radar-indicated tornado. We don't have any confirmation as of yet. Danielle, why don't we click on this skit right here? I am just very curious. Yeah, look at this, folks. Tornado index is up to a 4 now, so this is definitely a serious situation. Moving northeast at 75 miles per hour. Here is the updated track for you. Dias at 303. You have to and must go to your safe spot right now. Kaiser at 310. Manila updated 318. So you do have a little bit of lead time, but with a storm moving at 75 miles an hour, not much. Again, you need to listen to us. We'll get you through this safely, but you have to pay attention to what we're saying. Leachville at 321. Gosnell at 326. Bolivar is headed your way also at 326. 327. In Hornersville. So that is, all those areas are under the path of this potential tornado. Again, we don't have any confirmation, but radar is strongly indicating that there could be a tornado. Danielle, you are over there in the Weather Center. Talk about what you're seeing on radar and if you are getting any new information in from the National Weather Service.
The National Weather Service, a large rain-wrapped circulation crossing at a spotter's location near Paragould, Arkansas. Also, we have definitely already seen the storm produce a tornado in Springfield, Arkansas. And that was earlier this morning, overnight. We have already seen one of those tornadoes, and now this could be another possible tornado in our viewing area. I do want to tell you all about, if you are in the West Memphis, Arkansas area, there are 2 storm shelters that are open. They did post those to their Facebook page. The safe rooms are at the Marion Visual Performing Arts Magnet School and also the ASU Mid-South. All of this information is on our website, abc24.com. If you know anybody in that area, and that's in West Memphis, Arkansas, there are 2 shelters that are open there at this time. Also, it says there is a severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Cardwell or 7 miles south of South Marmaduke.
Marmaduke, yeah. And those folks are no stranger to tornadoes either.
Right.
Several years ago, I remember they got hit. And as you said, Danielle, we talked about Osceola, Arkansas. Here is Kaiser right there. Kaiser and Dias in the path of this magically. There I am, television for you. So, look, with a tornado index of 4.0, the scale goes from 0 to 10, 0 being the lowest threat, 10 being the highest. We're seeing this uptick now, and I really think over the next hour or 2 is when the worst, maybe even 3 hours, worst of the weather is going to be. So here's Dias, here's Kaiser, Manila, Blytheville. If it does continue, we'll have to watch your area, but for right now, really, Dias, over Dias right now is where the potential tornado would be. Can we take off the warnings just for a minute? And I do want to put on our velocity product showing where a potential tornado might be. And I'm not going to stay on it long because I don't want to confuse you. But yes, look at these bright green colors right here. And this is I-55, Osceola right here, the medical district right there. So it looks like this storm's trying to ride up I-55, to be honest with you. And the medical district in Osceola is on the east side of town. Kaiser, you are right in the path of this. Wilson and Joyner, you must go to your safe spots right now because this is a serious situation. We have seen it develop throughout the afternoon. We did figure that the worst of the weather would be about now, about this time, and unlike the last 3 or 4 events, we did not have a chance for rain to come through this morning and cool us off, so things are very unstable out there. Again, just to reiterate where we are on the map, here's I-55, Dias, if it is a tornado, it is right in your backyard. Kaiser and Etowah, it is going to go this way. If you are in Kaiser and Etowah, you need to go to your safe spot now. Get away from windows. We're not trying to freak you out and panic you, but what we are doing is saying, hey, look, you need to listen to what they're saying. Call any of your friends or family that lives in this area because tornado warning is in effect until 3:45. Now, also, the winds are going to be getting stronger in metropolitan Memphis over the next hour or so. So it's not just this one isolated area. All of the Mid-South going to be affected by wind and rain and perhaps a tornado or two. Now, the good news is our tornado indicator index is down a bit to 2.7, but oftentimes these things go through fluctuation. Sometimes they strengthen, sometimes they weaken. I've seen tornadoes that lift out off the ground, go into the sky, and get put back down on the ground somewhere else. So, where is the storm? It is over Dyess, Arkansas right now. Where is it going? It is moving toward Kaiser and Etowah. What are the threats? A tornado. What can you do? Go to your safe spot immediately. Those are the most important bullet points to take away from this very second. Danielle, let's go back to a wide view because I do want to give our viewers in the rest of the Mid-South a perspective of what is occurring. Here's Memphis and Shelby County right here, Millington, South Haven, West Memphis is right here. So you are just outside that tornado warning. And we're also concerned about North Mississippi and West Tennessee as the afternoon goes along. This entire line right here has gusty winds in excess perhaps of 60 miles per hour. So it is possible, even if you don't have a tornado, that you're going to lose power, and we want to prepare you for that as well. Look at the speed of this thing, 92 miles per hour, if that's correct. That's really putting down some wind, even if it's not a tornado. 70-mile-an-hour wind, certainly not out of the question. And here is your updated storm track. Etowah in 6 minutes, Kaiser in 6 minutes, Manila 3:19, Dell at 3:20, Gosnell at 3:25, Blytheville, you're in the path of this if it holds together until 3:25, Hornersville 3:27, Zenith, that would be Zenith, Missouri at 3:31, and Cooter, Missouri at 3:32. So it will be in the Missouri Boot Hill in about 25 minutes or so. Again, a very active situation unfolding right now. Our first tornado warning of the afternoon for Crittenden, Poinsett, and Mississippi County until 3:45 this afternoon as a strong indication of rotation and a possible tornado headed for the towns that we just showed you on the map. Here is a new severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like that has just been issued by the National Weather Service, and that is until 3:30. Keep in mind, these severe thunderstorm warnings can oftentimes turn into a tornado warning. They can be leading indicators of what is to come next. So that is something that we're watching. And at some point, Memphis and Shelby County will likely go under at least a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is our dot look now. I'm assuming that's I-55. Somebody help me out here. But you see traffic is flowing okay, actually, right now. From this camera, our RDOT camera, seeing what the weather is doing right now. This is a live look. Stanton Road overpass outside of Little Rock. And, well, what we're seeing right now is things that are looking just fine. So let's come back to the radar and see what is going on here at home and put a new track on.
John, they canceled the tornado warning for Crittenden, Mississippi, and Poinsett.
Oh, well, that's excellent information. And you know, one of the reasons why that may have happened is that it was actually our tornado index, we said it lowered from a 4 to a 2.7. We always like to see those numbers go down. I do believe we're going to go under a severe thunderstorm warning in Shelby County. I mean, the reason I say that, these storms are lined up from the Missouri Boot Hill all the way down to the Mississippi Delta and on our doorstep now. So I'm not comfortable going off air just yet because, like I said, the storms are on our doorstep. And listen, if in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Tipton County, really Crittenden County, St. Francis County, look, if you're watching our coverage, nasty storms are rolling through, call your friends, call your family, let them know that they need to get to a spot and stay there, not drive in this mess, because that is what it is, a mess. And even if it is not, you're not under a tornado warning, these winds can twist and turn rapidly, and we can see one put down. So a very active situation right now as we're now in the middle of the afternoon, daytime heating, the cold front, wind dynamics, all the ingredients are in place for a very dangerous afternoon of weather as this intense line of thunderstorms moves through the area. We have been expecting this for several days now, and they are here. Danielle, why don't we zoom into metropolitan Memphis right now and just check out and see what is up here. And this is a little concerning right here west of Marion. Near Edmondson right now. We'll have to watch that. You see the dark red and the purple. Oftentimes the purple can be indicative of hail. And it's not like this is so much of a hail situation, but it can be a leading indicator that purple color. Thankfully, we're not seeing any green in here right now. That would indicate more significant rotation. The green is here, but we're not seeing any red with that. So that is some good news. Now, we did get some rain a couple of hours ago in metropolitan Memphis, and that may actually be helping us out a little bit. We don't know for sure, but it could actually work in our favor. But here is the Mississippi River right here. These are the storms, and notice they are right very close to the Mississippi River. Here is West Memphis right here. So we're on the air because we're giving you time and heads up and a lead time that, look, storms are on the river. They're on the way. They're about to affect a highly populated area. And look, damaging wind, heavy rains where you can't even see. So you don't want to be out driving in that. And the potential for a few tornadoes and the potential for some power outages as well. That's another thing that we're watching. Maybe we could pop that map up. I know we've already had power outages in Memphis, and we haven't even had the worst of the weather roll through yet. So if we go ahead, Danielle.
John, while we're getting close to West Memphis here, I want to just reiterate their storm shelters that they have set up for the day. There are two there. There's a safe room at Marion Visual Performing Arts Magnet School and at ASU Mid-South. Those are both two storm shelters that you can go to in West Memphis if you want to go ahead and be proactive instead of reactive. There's not a severe thunderstorm warning there yet, but as we monitor these storms, we see that they are coming that way. This is just based off of the trend, just like John was saying, you know, we're anticipating it happening for Shelby County as well.
Yeah, and I think what you just said, Danielle, is 100% accurate. Look, if you're going to go to those shelters, you have to do it now because there's not a lot of time. You can see the worst of this is approaching West Memphis as we speak. You do still have time, but look, after now, you just unless you're in a mobile home, you need to go to a sturdy structure. I know it's not a tornado warning, but I promise you these winds are so fast up in the atmosphere and trying to come down to ground level that a tornado could develop at any moment. So it's something we're watching very carefully. Trevor, you have an update on power outages in the city. I want to go to Trevor and show us some of the areas that have the highest outages number now. And what are the numbers?
Well, John, unfortunately, the numbers are going up in Memphis, and really the worst of the storm has not even gotten here. We've had those strong winds all through the day today, but we do expect those winds to be even stronger as we are going to go through the afternoon. Our power outage number, close to 20,000 people currently without power, and you can see some of those areas where it's kind of highlighted as some of the highest down there in South Memphis, I-240 and Norris Road area, Sam Cooper and Graham area, 385 and Hacks Cross. Those are where those red squares are, where the highest amount of customers are without power. We've even got outages in Collierville, which doesn't seem to happen all that often. Also several in Bartlett. But the bottom line is power outages continuing to be a concern for us today. And things unfortunately could get worse as we go later on into the afternoon as we see that second line of storms and more damaging wind possible come through the area.
All right, and we have a live storm chaser in or just outside of Jonesboro, Arkansas. Let's go to that because let's just see. I mean, look, this is in a severe thunderstorm right now, and this, now please don't do this. This is a chaser that is professionally trained going through Arkansas roadways right now. And look, if a tornado does pop out of the sky, it's going to be hard to see because it's so cloudy and rainy. It could be rain wrapped. This is not a situation where we can see them without rain. And that is what makes them all the more dangerous. I don't know exactly what highway this is, but this is in and near Jonesboro. And there are multiple warnings out, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings out. You could see, well, you could see the trees blowing. You can see the limbs blowing very, very fast. What happens is a lot of times those streams, once they get really to the strongest part of the storm, well, they just freeze because they're in bad weather. But we'll check back in with that storm chaser in a minute. Also, we're seeing a new tornado warning just southwest of Clarksdale, and if that holds together, it will be moving into our area. So we've got a lot going on. It is a busy afternoon, and really, this is when we really expected things would start popping about this time, and they are. So, tornado warning just southwest of Clarksdale. If you are watching us, Clarksdale, know that this storm is headed in your direction. I don't know, maybe we can put a track on that because it won't be long before that is into the Mississippi Delta, at least the Delta in our coverage area, as this continues to pull northeast. So also, this is another area of favorability for tornadoes in North Mississippi, and some of these could be strong if they develop and get on the ground. Any tornado is strong, but when I say strong, I'm talking about one that remains on the ground for miles and miles and miles and does destruction. Thankfully, no confirmation of any tornado on the ground yet. Look, that's the best news. We hope it stays that way, but this is going to be moving into our coverage area. This tornado warning, if it holds, very, very quickly, you can see Alligator, Mississippi, Clarksdale, here, Lyon, Friars Point, Coahoma, not the county, but Coahoma itself, Marks 407, and Lula at 408. Danielle, can we turn on the velocity products? I'm just curious. I know this is a long way away from the radar site, but clearly you can see the rotation here. I mean, look at the, zoom in a little bit closer if you don't mind. Look, this is near Shelby, Mississippi. And look how bright that red is. Look how bright this green is. And these are getting close together. That is not what we want to see. That is often a sign that a tornado is trying to form, is forming, or maybe even is getting close to the ground, a funnel cloud getting close to the ground. Again, I'm just analyzing the radar imagery. Look, I've looked at this for many, many years in the Mid-South, and that's a sign, especially when it's that far away from the radar site. I would not be surprised at all if a tornado warning is issued for a few of our counties in the Delta. Let's come back to a Memphis metropolitan view, go back to the regular radar, and see how close this line is that is about to affect Memphis and Shelby County.
There's also a new severe thunderstorm warning.
As this one right here?
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually the storm that had a tornado warning earlier, but now a severe thunderstorm warning. And what is the latest bulletin on that? Do you have it?
Yes, it says it's for Craighead, Mississippi, Poinsett, Arkansas, also Dyer, Tennessee, until 4 p.m. radar indicated, and it's moving 60 miles an hour. Okay,
so Ripley, Osceola, Blytheville, again, not a tornado warning, but here is a track, and we can, some of this goes into the Missouri Boot Hill, Haytah Heights, Haytah, and Caruthersville, but we're on it carefully because there was a tornado warning earlier for that. We're also on the air because this line of storms is about to affect Metro Memphis, and we're on the air because a tornado warned storm is about to move into the Mississippi Delta near Clarksdale. So that is what is going on this afternoon. I'm just not comfortable yet going off the air, and one of the main reasons for that is just how close this line is to approaching Memphis and DeSoto County, Tipton County, Crittenden County, and also this tornado warned storm down south that is just southwest of Clarksdale, Mississippi. Do we have any word about that warning southwest of Clarksdale, if they're going to extend it, rotation or anything?
They're watching it closely. They're saying that they can't see any circulation from their radars, but they're watching it as it enters Coahoma County.
Okay, and also there are numerous power outages, folks. Look, this is before the main storm even comes through. We talked about power outages. There's a high wind warning, I believe, out for the entire area. You don't see that often. This is a unique situation. And there is where the tornado warning is south of Clarksdale. That's one we have to watch very, very carefully. And this nasty line here that is approaching the Mississippi River, we already have thousands of power outages. What was it? The latest I saw, 17,000 customers. You can go ahead and
close to 20.
Okay, so you can go ahead and double that easily. 40,000 people, probably closer to 50,000 people right now without power in Shelby County. So the winds look, these winds can be out ahead of the main line by several miles. And the wind has been blowing all day. And we've had branches coming down. That can take out power. And now as these stronger winds are getting closer to Shelby County, it is not advisable that you drive now. Do not leave your home. And if someone that you know, no matter who it is, friend, family, out driving, they need to get to a safe spot now, because even if there is no tornado warning, there are going to be high winds coming through the metropolitan Memphis area, and we've already got 50,000 people without power, almost 20,000 customers, and this is still concerning, even though it is a severe thunderstorm warning. There's still some rotation going on there around Osceola, not as much instability, but certainly some rotation, and that might be why it has not made it to the ground. There is a storm track, though, of that particular storm. Again, it could put down a tornado at any point. And the most concerning thing that I have right now is a tornado warning about to move into Clarksdale if it is in fact extended, and also this line of storms that is really lining up and going to be affecting the metro area. And there is some rotation south of Marktree, Arkansas. So normally probably would not be on air at this second, since there's no active tornado warning. But with this such a volatile situation and with the storms heading directly toward Memphis, I want to make sure everybody is aware and that everybody stays safe. After all, we are under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock. We are also under a moderate risk of severe weather, or a level 4 out of 5. 5 is the highest. That's why we're taking this situation very, very seriously, because I expect things to get worse in many areas before they get better, especially in areas east of the Mississippi River. You know, it might be a really good thing that it rained hard earlier in Shelby County. I'm hopeful that that will keep things stable. But, you know, with the winds, dynamics, and parameters as impressive as they are, I'm not betting on that, but hey, cautious optimism. But there's another track of that cell that is still an active severe thunderstorm warning in East Arkansas, pushing across the Mississippi River. Still have a tornado index of 2.3, so it's gone down. I believe it peaked out at a 4. Trevor, let's go to Trevor. And Trevor, tell us what you're looking at and any kind of communication that you've had with the Weather Service the last few minutes.
Well, I was going to say this. The worst of this storm is really about to come into Blytheville, and we should have an RDOT camera up in Blytheville. So if we can take a look at that, that is where we've got some very strong wind, heavy rain. That is just pushing into northern Mississippi County. But I wanted to zoom out a little bit, and if we can get that camera, take it whenever. We can go back to that. But I wanted to zoom out and kind of give you a wide view of where everything is happening, because you can see that line of storms all the way down eastern Arkansas. Several of them have severe thunderstorm warnings on them because of the threat of damaging winds and heavy rain. And I believe this is a new severe thunderstorm warning here that's just been issued. That's for Mississippi, Tipton County, Lauderdale County, parts of Dyer County. And it's with that storm that, again, is just about to come into Blytheville. It's had a tornado warning on it previously, but right now it doesn't look like it does. It looks like it's just a damaging wind threat. I want to zoom out more and show you. I put a storm track on this entire line. And I'll be honest with you, the longer you put this storm track out, the less to the minute accurate it's going to be. But this should give you at least a little bit of an idea of when the worst of the storm is going to be in your neighborhood. Parkin and Earl by the bottom of the hour about 3:28. West Helena about 3:30. Tunica and the casinos just after 3:45. Dyersburg a little closer to 4 o'clock. And then we start talking about Metro Memphis.
I think they just issued a warning, actually, for Shelby County.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes. Severe thunderstorm warning. So now it's in the northern part of Shelby County. Sorry to cut you off,
no,
Trevor.
You're good.
But
we'll wait for that to pop up. But that goes right along with what I was saying, because the worst of that line is going to be into Memphis, Mud Island 405, downtown 406, and Fraser at around 407. I'm going to assume they probably filled in this little gap here with a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds. And John, you might be able to go in. There it is right there. You might be able to go into a little bit more in depth with this. But there's a little bit of a bow right there over Earl. And when you see the storms do that, have that little backward C shape, it's a pretty good indication you've got some wind in there. And again, that little segment moving off to the northeast, that's where we've got that new severe thunderstorm warning. You see it there for Poinsett Cross, northern Crittenden, Mississippi, and the extreme northern corner of Shelby County. Not sure exactly when that goes till. The bottom line is, as we said, By 4 o'clock, we should be talking about heavy rain and thunderstorms, damaging wind gusts possible as well right here in the Memphis metro area.
It goes
John.
until 4:15 this
4:15.
afternoon. And actually, yes, the part of the storm, let's come back right here. This is going to be near the Fraser area, near Millington, the northern part of Shelby County. Not all of Shelby County right now is under a severe thunderstorm warning, but the Millington Airport is right in the path of this. So if it does cross the Millington Airport, we should get a good reading of the winds and prepare to lose power if you're in Millington or northern Shelby County. Notice here's Bartlett right here. So this is in the extreme northern part of Shelby County, but both of these lines really are showing signs of some heavy winds, and I promise you now, power outages are almost certain to go up as now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for the northern part of Shelby County. We can't let our guard down either. Collierville, South Haven, Memphis, and Bartlett, because the worst of the winds are still coming in back into Arkansas. This is why I didn't want to go off the air, because the threat is here, it's imminent, and it's going to be here for a while. Another thing to consider is flooding. If you ever drive and you see a road covered with water, turn around, don't drown, a cliche. We say it all the time. But really, I'm being serious here because I've seen a lot of people try to do that this year, and it may not end well, not in a situation like this anyway. So please do not drive in this weather. It is bad. I mean, that's as simple as I can say it. The weather's rough. Stay inside and call your kids and friends and family, whoever. And let them know there are strong storms now on the Mississippi River. Some of those are pushing into Shelby County. I'm also curious, Danielle, why don't we go back to that storm that was southwest of Clarksdale, because there was a tornado warning for a cell there. And there is still an active tornado warning. Now, Clarksdale, technically, you are not under the warning, but let me tell you something. This storm is close to you guys. I would go ahead and go to my safety spot because there is some lightning and there is some purple, which indicates hail, which indicates a strong storm, which indicates high cloud tops, basically a strong thunderstorm that could produce a tornado at any point. So, yeah, go ahead, Danielle.
There's a new severe thunderstorm warning for Coahoma, Quitman, and Tunica.
Okay.
And it also includes Lee and Phillips, Arkansas. So
When does that one go until?
Until 4:15 as well.
Okay, so that goes until 4:15. So the good news with that is it was not extended as a tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. But winds, I'm going to tell you what, could be 60, 70 miles an hour in here. And look, you don't want to be driving and you don't want to be outside and you don't want to be upstairs.
60-mile-an-hour wind at this time.
Okay, 60 miles an hour. Okay, so that is the latest update on that. Are there any storm reports coming in from anywhere?
No, not yet. Not yet at all. We've just got some more outages as well for Entergy, which is in Arkansas, as well as Mississippi. So there's outages is there, not just for MLGW customers. And like we said, John, do not drive in this weather. We have seen a lot of flooding. But if you do get stuck outside while the storm is passing through, the best thing for you to do is try to find the closest shelter that does not have windows. If there's not a shelter around, then you lay in a ditch and try to protect your head by any means necessary. But what about if you're in a car? Some people may think that pulling over to an underpass is the safest thing to do, but that is not true. You definitely want to make sure that you are not in a car if possible, but if you are, please seek shelter immediately. You may have noticed that underpasses are not enclosed, and that means that projectile objects could go through there and damage your windows. Also, you could potentially be blocking other people. The best thing for you to do is find shelter in a store. If you can't get out of the car, buckle your seatbelt and put something over your head. And don't forget to keep that seatbelt on until it's obviously safe to get out. We've been monitoring, I've been watching this storm, all morning long, and we have seen at least one tornado on the ground, and that was in Springdale, Arkansas, which is in northwest Arkansas. I think we have some video of that, the damage there. There were no injuries reported, which is good news there, but definitely a very scary situation for people who have already experienced a storm system moving through. So it is very important that you continue to be weather aware all day long and as this system passes through. This is just the beginning of the worst of it. So, we have a few more hours to go. So please just make sure you're being very weather aware for this afternoon. We've been getting some reports of many different power outages. There's the video from Springdale, Arkansas from earlier. They're definitely doing some recovery efforts right now. No injuries have been reported there, but definitely a scary, scary situation if you've ever been there. We've seen multiple reports of power outages, trees down, even brief funnel clouds. Just because there is a funnel clouds, that does not mean that it touched the ground, but you could see a funnel cloud. This is a look at MLGW. Trevor, could you, tell us a little bit about that? I can't actually see that map.
Yeah, I mean, right now it says 11,000 customers. We were at 18,000 earlier, so that might be a good sign that while the wind is slacking up a little bit and the rain is slacking up before the main round comes through, we might be seeing crews rushing to get out there to make some repairs. I will tell you, it looks like most of the outages are in Collierville right now, north of Poplar Avenue, out there near Houston Levee and New Byhalia Road. And then we've also got some outages, it looks like, over near Raleigh LaGrange and Summer as you go up toward the northeastern corner of town. But spotty power outages all across the area. So just be aware if you do see a traffic light that is out, you've got to treat that as a four-way stop. Really quickly, I wanted to show you over on the weather computer that storm down in Clarksdale that we've been talking about. It had a tornado warning on it earlier. If we can go over to the other weather computer, weather 2, please, and I'll give you an idea of what is going on down there. What you're looking at here, this is our threat tracker, and it's showing you in different colors what the biggest threat is. So green, rain is your biggest threat. Purple, hail is your biggest threat. Reds and yellows is where we're talking about shear, rotation in the storm as your biggest threat. So even though we do not have a tornado warning for Clarksdale right now in the Mississippi Delta, that's just going to show you that the storm still has a possibility of producing a tornado. Now, as far as the rest of the area, again, right now, no tornado warnings, but this storm is still packing a punch. Damaging wind gusts a possibility. We want to remind you to stay away from windows and remain indoors. Go ahead and charge your cell phones if you haven't lost power already. And of course, avoid the electrical equipment and plumbing.
All right, and I want to take a look now. There is an area of circulation west of Turl, Arkansas, that just a moment ago, and actually now too, is still of concern. That is something that bears watching. Currently not in a tornado warning, Gilmore, Turl, and Clarkdale, not Clarksdale, Mississippi, Clarkdale, Arkansas. But this is an area that bears watching right here, that rotation. And also there's some other suspicious activity south of Joyner, Arkansas as well. So here's I-55. It splits off and goes to I-555. And it's that split where I am really concerned right now. I'm hopeful that weakens, and also this other area that we're circling here, a suspicious area there where a tornado could be forming also. So just because we don't have any active tornado warnings, that doesn't mean that, look, at any point, this can go from a severe thunderstorm warning to a tornado warning, and we're seeing signs on the radar that to me are a little bit concerning. Let's hope we keep this gray color in between. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see the reds and the greens next to each other. That's bad. We want to keep this gray color, but those green colors are getting brighter. All right, back to the radar. Let's come back to the Memphis metropolitan area, because that is where, specifically the northern part of Shelby County, that is where there's an active warning right now. Some severe wind headed toward Millington. That will be eventually headed toward Rosemark, which is basically the last stop in Shelby County. That's about as northeast as you can get in Shelby County. Rosemark, that is headed in your direction. And as a matter of fact, here's Rosemark right here. These winds could be 60, 70 miles an hour as they travel through the northern part of Shelby County. And we're not done. Just with that, as we back it out a little bit, you'll see that this line is extensive. It goes all the way from the Missouri Boot Hill down through our entire viewing area. It actually goes, it's way longer than that, but we're obviously focused in on what is happening here at home. And look, there is not a severe thunderstorm warning right now for southern Shelby County. That also could change. The power outages have been fluctuating up and down. I expect them to go up. Look, winds have already been gusty today, but this is something to watch. this bright color, that bright green color in Marktree, Arkansas, indicative of high winds also coming into Shelby County, the northern part of Shelby County. I don't see intense rotation right now, except for this. In Shelby County, it looks like mainly high winds, but look at this. I want to go, Trevor, let's go over to Trevor's computer for a second.
Yep.
Whatever view you were looking at, I want to go back to that.
Clarksdale?
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Let's switch over to our other computer. Look at the warnings, too. They're lined up. This is where some of the most intense activity is, and this is going to be moving over north central Mississippi, where the most favorable environment is for strong tornadoes. So we are really just getting started. And that bright green that you're seeing that Trevor is tracking, that is an area of rotation, an area of suspicion, Friars Point. Clarksdale at 338, Lyon at 340, Coahoma at 344, Jonestown, Mississippi at 346, and Lula at 348. So certainly an area of concern on the radar right there. Currently, all those towns I called out are under a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, if these winds look like they are going to try to rotate even more, I know the National Weather Service will have no hesitation in extending that into a tornado warning, but not for now. That is the good news. The good news is also, look, it's not necessarily a bad thing that it is raining. Let's come back to Links 1 if we could, guys, and go back to that computer. Yeah, this is just kind of a wide view of what's going on all across the area. It's actually not a bad thing that we had a little bit of rain in Memphis and Shelby County earlier. That helped take some of the energy, not all, but some of the energy out of the atmosphere. Look, the wind dynamics, we're in the middle of severe weather season, and they're about as impressive as you see. They're close, and just a little bit of energy, just a little bit more energy, and it could have been a lot worse in East Arkansas and in Shelby County right now. I obviously am not wishing for any type of flooding, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all that we're seeing a solid area of rain before this main line comes in. I think that's actually working in our favor, or will work in our favor. I hope anyway, cautiously optimistic about that. I'm still very concerned about North Mississippi and the counties that are just north of the Tennessee-Mississippi border, including Hardeman and McNairy County. It's not a bad thing that it's raining down here, though, in north central Mississippi. That, too, is not bad. We want to take as much of the energy as possible out of the atmosphere, and that's what this rain is doing. And thankfully, we don't have any active tornado warnings. We do have an active severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County, as a really, well, that's not as impressive on that last radar update as it was just a moment ago. So things are still volatile, but perhaps not as bad as they could be. Okay, okay. Tornado warning is about to be issued for Mississippi County. That coming to us from the National Weather Service for Mississippi County and Arkansas, guys, in the booth. And for our digital team, we're talking about Mississippi County and Arkansas, and near Tyronza apparently is where this storm is. Danielle, maybe let's put the velocity products back on here really quick, and also turn the skits on. I don't know if they're on or not. Okay, they are on. Let's click on that. I'm just curious. It's not necessarily. Let's see. Let me see what that one shows. Okay, a tornado index of 2.9. So look, we had it as high as 4 earlier. The higher the number, the more likely there is of a tornado. Right now, it's at a 2.9. And again, the bright colors indicate high winds. And look, there are winds easily that are 50, 60 miles per hour. But a new tornado warning is about to come out for Mississippi County, Arkansas. Trevor, was that radar indicated?
We haven't gotten the official bulletin yet. I assume so. They're still working on actually drawing that up, but it looks like it's going to be from Tyronza over to Mississippi, County. Wouldn't be surprised if it even goes a little bit into maybe Lauderdale and Tipton. So as soon as that comes out, we'll let you know. We'll give you the official bulletin.
So he's talking about this area right here. Also, now we would really be getting into part of Tennessee. Also, so far, tornado warning, the tornado warning that we've had in our coverage area anyway, has been in the state of Arkansas, eastern Arkansas to be northeast Arkansas, to be really specific. But it looks like a brand new tornado warning is about to come out. We still have an active severe thunderstorm warning for the northern part of Shelby County as high winds have come through, have taken out power, and that number will be going up as the afternoon goes along. Again, we can go back to the regular radar, Danielle. The bright colors indicate the highest winds. So I know it can get confusing when we go all through these different colors and things. So that's what that means. Now the red means it's bad. Look, the purple here near Caruthersville, that indicates a very strong core of a thunderstorm. Thankfully, that is going to continue to move into Missouri and away from us. But the brightest of reds indicate the heaviest of rain. And it also, here is the tornado warning, as a matter of fact.
And John, that is radar indicated.
Thank you. Radar indicated. Danielle, and movement, if you don't mind. Get the movement of that.
Yeah, well, it is until 4:30. I'll tell you that. I know that's important too. And then movement-wise, northeast at 55.
All right, Danielle, if we could track that from like right here, northeast at about 55 miles per hour. Osceola, you're going to be back in the path of this potential tornado. You had a tornado warning earlier. This is number 2. The medical center, by the way, in Osceola is on the east side of town. Just to give you a reference point, that would be right in here east of I-55. And my gosh, I mean, you know, we've been saying this also. If you are about to leave Memphis and head up to I-55 north, do not do it. It is not safe to travel. Please do not attempt to do that as this storm continues to move to the northeast at a rapid clip. Again, Kaiser, you're in the path of this. Also, our production team, I want to make sure we're rolling on this coverage because it's always a good idea. We analyze this very carefully. We go back and look at these tapes. I still call them tapes. But we go back and look and analyze storms and see what happened and what can we learn for the next event. So let's make sure we're rolling on this, please. Kaiser down to Dias, that is an area of concern. Danielle, were you going to say something?
Yeah, they're saying that there's 83-mile-an-hour wind gusts near Shelby, Mississippi, and Bolivar County, Mississippi.
Okay, that makes perfect sense because that is the area where there was a tornado warning earlier south of Clarksdale.
Right.
So 80-mile-an-hour winds, that will do damage easily.
Right, without the thunderstorm.
With a thunderstorm. So just because we're under severe thunderstorm warning for those areas, look, it could go tornado at any point. Let's go back to the tornado warning one more time. I want to take a, and I don't know, maybe if you can, turn some of those severe thunderstorm warnings off. But look, Kaiser, Wilson, Osceola, Luxora, you have already today been under a tornado warning one time. You're now under a second tornado warning. So we want you to go to your safe spot now. You need to go wherever you are in a building on the first floor, apartment, office complex, whatever, your home, first floor, away from windows, in an interior closet, and get something to cover your head. Now is the time to take action. We're not trying to scare you unnecessarily, but now is the time to take action if you are in those areas. With a more specific look of tips and exactly what to do, I want to throw it over to Trevor because you've got a graphic up that could really help people out a lot. Trevor?
And John, these folks have been down this road already once before. This is, as you said, the second tornado warning of the day in this area. But if you're just joining us and you are in that tornado warning, maybe your phone has alerted you or you hear sirens going off. Again, this is east of Marsh Tree in southern Mississippi County, Arkansas, and extreme western Lauderdale County, Tennessee. So we're talking about up near Osceola and Luxora areas. If you're in that polygon, that red alert box, we want you to go to an interior room on the lowest floor of the building you're currently in. If that's an office building, if that's an apartment building, whatever it is, get to the lowest floor you can and find an interior room with the most walls between you and the outside as possible, away from windows. Go ahead and put on your shoes. Cover your head if you can. If you've got kids with bicycle helmets, that's a great option. And if you're in a car, first of all, you shouldn't be right now, at least in this tornado warning, or in a mobile home, you have to find better shelter. So if you know someone that's driving, once again, along I-55, north of, up into Mississippi County, Arkansas, they need to find somewhere else to pull over, a gas station, restaurant, bathroom, whatever you can. I want to show you for your home, if you're in these areas, what the best place to be is. And once again, it's in the most interior portion of your home. There's the bathroom. That's what, for most people, is on the inside of your home because you don't want any windows in the bathroom. That's usually a good spot. We don't want you in any of these outside rooms where it has an exterior wall. We want you on the most interior portion and away from windows. Of course, that is the best option. Again, if you're just joining us, tornado warning is in effect for Mississippi County and Lauderdale County. Of course, that stretches from Arkansas over into Tennessee. But tornado is not the only threat today. That's our, the one we're paying the most attention to right now. But everybody has the potential to see some damaging wind gusts over the next several hours.
And Trevor, they are also talking about these storms in the Mississippi Delta. Yep. They may up that to a tornado warning. So that's what we were talking about a moment ago. So here's the one tornado warning that is active. This entire line is headed east and going to be affecting everybody. In fact, do we have a look from our Clark Tower? We've got a camera, a live camera from Clark Tower looking west. Look, this is the tallest building in East Memphis. If you know where East Memphis is, you can't miss it. We're looking west toward downtown Memphis. People are on the streets right now. Things are pretty quiet in the East Memphis area, but very helpful to be able to have this camera to look live.
And John, there's that tornado warning in the Delta. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but we have
no,
that
no.
new tornado warning now.
Oh, a brand new tornado warning.
Yeah, that's going to go for Lee and Phillips County in Arkansas, as well as Tunica County in Mississippi until 4:30.
Okay, until 4:30. So that, like I said, this is a still developing situation, a potentially dangerous situation. We've got multiple tornado warnings now. We've got, I believe, still an active severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County, at least the northern part of Shelby County. And here is that brand new tornado warning. It does include Helena, West Helena, and also Tunica. So the casinos are going to be taking cover. I know they've got their storm plans in place, but this is basically going to be affecting the casinos and Horseshoe Lake on the Arkansas side. There's a number of oxbow lakes, or some that used to be Arkansas that are now in Mississippi, and vice versa, so it can be easy to get confused. But Tunica, we're talking about, look, less than a half an hour. The casinos, about a half an hour or so. Horseshoe Lake, I just mentioned Horseshoe Lake, 434. Beautiful place, by the way, in East Arkansas. Gorgeous getaway for a lot of Memphians and really all Mid-Southerners on Horseshoe Lake. Again, used to be part of the Mississippi River. Let's check out, I'm curious to see what that skit says, Danielle. Tornado index has come back up. It's higher. It was at a 2.9. Now it's back up to a 3.8. The odds of a tornado are increasing, and that's why they upped the warning. Also, this is moving at about 60, shear about 80. Look, without getting too technical, shear basically meaning high wind. Also, this is where it is going. The storm track, pay very close attention to that. The threat with this storm right here is a tornado. What you need to do to stay safe is take action now. Go into, look, if you're in a mobile home and you live in Tunica and you know where a sturdy structure is, I want you to get out right now and go to a sturdy structure if you live in a mobile home, because you could be in the path of a tornado if you are in Tunica. There is very good reason to believe that there could be a tornado on the ground. Look, we don't have confirmation of that, but just everything I'm looking at, the radar signatures, is it possible? And look, this could gain some strength. That is exactly why the tornado warning was issued. Even though this is actually technically just outside the warning, that is an area of concern that could have a tornado. But that is a severe thunderstorm warning. But look, let's just go ahead and assume around Friars Point that there could be a tornado there as well. Rapidly changing, still developing situation this afternoon, a volatile afternoon where almost the entire area is under a level 4 risk of severe weather. Again, we're not trying to scare you unnecessarily or panic you. Please don't. But we are trying to make you aware of what to do to keep you and your family safe. All right. So obviously that is downtown Memphis. The camera that we're looking at, a camera here in Arkansas, looking eastbound. You can see downtown Memphis there, the new bridge. Traffic going just fine right there. But again, the situation will be getting worse. And Danielle, you actually are taking a look. We take all of our tools and technology, combine them together, and it can focus in on where the worst part of a storm is. And that's what you are on right now around Friars Point. That is where the rotation to me looked to be. And so that, look, Jonestown, Helena, West Helena, Friars Point, all you guys need to be in your safe spot now and immediately. If you're not, go to it. And look, even though Marks and Lambert and Batesville and Como and Senatobia are not under a warning right now, actually Marks is a severe thunderstorm warning, you guys need to prepare because all this is moving east and you are still in an environment that is favorable for the development of tornadoes. I want to come back to Shelby County now on the radar. Let's come back to just a regular reflectivity mode is fine because there's still, I believe, well, it's actually been canceled, hadn't it? That expired at 3:45. So there is no more active warning for Shelby County. That was expired, look, about 5 minutes ago. But this storm on its heels right here is one that the Memphis metropolitan area needs to be concerned about because that tornado warning, at least the way they have it drawn, is that could be moving northeast. That would be affecting southern Crittenden County, also DeSoto County. You're still in play here. You're not out of the woods. All of us are under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. So everybody still has the chance and a threat for a tornado. Thankfully, so far this afternoon, we don't have any confirmed reports of tornadoes on the ground. Certainly, I hope we keep it that way. But again, we're getting into the afternoon heating, even though it's raining. Look at this, very concerning here with these bright colors southwest of Osceola. As Trevor was saying, you have been through this before already. This is round 2 of a tornado warning. The medical district in Osceola, east of I-55 on the east side of town right there. Just to give you a perspective, if you're in Osceola, you know where I'm talking about. This is going to potentially, you know what, I think it's going to miss you, Blytheville. Just looking at the circulation right here. The bright green and the red close together is not what we want to see. But there are indications that there's some broad rotation going on right now, and that could tighten up and become a tornado at any moment if it not already is. Do we have that chaser video that live stream near Jonesboro? I know Jonesboro's not under a warning, but it would just be interesting. No, okay, we don't have that anymore. I also, just at some point, and look, if you pull it up, you don't have to keep it up long. I am interested to know the power situation in Memphis. I know, in Crittenden County, there were over 5,000 customers without power. That was a few moments ago. It may be higher now. This has actually come down from earlier. There have been some outages near Cargiville that have been extended outages, and those have actually been going on for well over an hour. But right now, we're not seeing it spike incredibly. That we did look. We've had winds that have caused at one point almost 50,000 people to lose power. But this is an extended power outage here that has been going on for well over an hour now near Cargiville, north of 385. North of the south leg of 385 and the east leg there. So obviously something has gone on. Don't know exactly what it is, but you guys may be without power in that area for an extended period of time. Other power outages in northern Shelby County where we had the severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back to the radar now for Shelby County. Or actually, no, let's keep it right here because one thing I just noticed is that the tornado number, our tornado index, where the scale goes from 0 to 10. This is the highest we've seen all afternoon, 4.2. So this storm is increasing. Luxora, Osceola, want you to be in your safe spots right now. Please don't go outside and try to find the tornado. You won't be able to see it probably. until it's on your house because it's raining so heavily. And these are going to be rain wrapped. You just don't want to be near window or glass. Flying debris, that's what hurts people. That's what kills people when you flying debris going to the head. That's why we always say stay inside the middle of your home. Stay inside the middle of an apartment on the lowest floor or a building. Any kind of building that you're in away from windows, because it's that flying debris that can cause injuries and cause death. Trevor, are you tracking? Let's go to links 2, because I see you are tracking another tornado warning.
Yeah.
We've got 2 active tornado warnings. Tell us about the one you're tracking and watching right now.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what I was going to do, John. We have that tornado warning that is down. We've been talking about in Tunica, but this entire line, it's kind of nasty here, from Tunica down into the Delta, Clarksdale, Coahoma, and Quitman counties, where you see it's kind of a straight line here. Then we've got that little bump out over Helena and Tunica. That is an area where we have some strong winds. So what's happening is here, these winds are coming so fast behind the storm that it's actually causing it to bulge out a little bit. So anytime you see a signature like that, where you've got that little bump in the line, that is an area where the winds are going to be a lot stronger. Now, right now, we've got a threat of a tornado coming into Tunica, kind of riding up right along the Mississippi River. But in general, as this continues to move off to the north and east, our biggest concern is going to be damaging wind gusts. And I've kind of extended the track a little bit because this is the area we're going to have to watch for Metro Memphis as it moves in. If we are going to have any problems, it's going to be with this storm. So the casinos by 412, Horseshoe Lake 420. Then we're talking about Memphis metro area, Walls 430, Horn Lake 437, Hernando and the Landers Center right around 440. So as this continues to move off to the north and east, we hopefully can drop that tornado warning, but we are going to continue to see the threat of damaging winds as it moves off to the north and east. Do we have this storm chaser? Do we have any storm chaser video we could take?
I think we do have one down there.
Yeah.
I do want to say really quick, the most significant damage of the day, or at least since I've been here, apparently a semi-trailer was blown off of I-55 at mile marker 58. So that's something for our news team. If you, okay. Anyway, I had to pass that along. Okay, so, all right, look, here's the accident right. That's not mile marker 58, but we obviously, you can see there's problems. And we're getting all kinds of reports in now. You can see emergency vehicles. Something obviously is going on, an accident there at Ingram Boulevard. You know where the I-55 and 40 split? The Walmart over there? Everybody knows the Walmart if you live in East Arkansas. This is where we are near. This courtesy of our RDOT camera. But again, to repeat, a semi blown off the road on I-55 at mile marker 58. This is telling us, folks, that these winds mean business. When you're starting to blow trucks off the road, we weren't kidding around at all here. This is serious stuff. And still a potential tornado. Look at the tornado index here. This is near Osceola, Arkansas, in northeast Arkansas. It's at a 4.2. Here are the towns in the path of that. A lot of those go into Missouri. So look, and you know, we said it about probably a half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. If you're leaving out of Memphis, do not travel up I-55. Well, you see why we were saying that now, because unfortunately, a semi got just blown off the road due to high winds at mile marker 58. So that is an active tornado warning. Danielle, what about the winds in there? Let's see if we can take a look at some of those properties. I'm just curious and interested to see. By the way, it does look like that's going to stay south of you, Blytheville, at least from all indications right now. Again, we've got a lot of bright green colors.
John, they extended that tornado warning actually because it's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. It says the severe thunderstorm is still capable of producing a tornado.
Okay, so we've got that one, and then we've got, all right, so they extended this tornado warning right here. This
Correct.
is one we're concerned about,
Yes.
obviously.
They've extended that one, and then we still have the one down here in West Helena.
All right, go, also do me a favor, click on this tornado warning just so people at home can see the text on their screen. Tornado warning, this includes the casinos in Tunica. This one goes until 4:30. Now, we're obviously watching this carefully and closely. This is an area of suspicion right here that's actually outside the tornado warning. But if you live in any of these areas, and by the way, this is going to be approaching I-55 as well as it moves to the northeast. Also, Highway 61 down toward the casinos. Folks, don't be traveling right now. Be inside in a place of safety. Our atmosphere is really, we're just not happy right now with the collision of air masses, and this is the prime time heating. But that is concerning right there, that area of circulation. Just to the east of Helena, West Helena, now east of the Mississippi River, certainly an area of concern. Danielle?
They also issued a new severe thunderstorm warning with considerable wind, 70-mile-an-hour radar indicated wind moving through Panola, Quitman, Tallahatchie.
Okay, so that is that's in our southern counties. And actually, to be honest with you, you can put back on the regular radar now. To be honest with you, this is an area, Holly Springs over to Hernando, Senatobia, Panola County, and Lafayette County, where if there are strong tornadoes this afternoon, that is where they are most likely, because this is the area really where the best wind dynamics are, where the most energy is. And so I am concerned about these storms as they continue to pull to the east for our friends in North Mississippi. So I want you to know, just because you're not under a warning, you need to pay attention to the warnings to your west, because it's those storms that are headed your way and could get stronger as the afternoon goes along. They're moving into a more favorable environment. Here's Memphis right here, South Haven and DeSoto County, just to give you a reference point of where we are. I know it's easy to get lost. Let's come back into the tornado warning storm around the casinos right now. Active tornado warning until 4:30. And we don't, like I said, we don't have any reports of a tornado on the ground. But we have been watching this system for days, and all the parameters are lining up. And right in here, there is some good rotation. I do not want to see that tighten up because that's pretty intense with the colors. Again, the brighter the color, the closer these red and greens are together. To keep it simple, the meaner the storm is. So that is an area that we're watching. Tunica, it's getting close to you. You are under an active tornado warning until 4:30. Now is the time to take action. Anybody under this warning that we've been talking about, take action. Go to your place of safety right now. Trevor, I'm looking on the periphery of my left eye.
Yep.
It's something you're watching over there on our big screen. Tell me what we're looking at.
John, this is that northern storm that we still have a tornado warning on. That tornado warning goes for Mississippi County and Lauderdale County. And I pulled up our rotation detector. We've got an interesting signature here, and this is a signature we're kind of taught to look out for. Anytime you see kind of an S shape within this rotation detector, it's an idea that not only are the winds extremely strong, they're also spinning. So this tornado warning is still a concern, mainly south of Osceola, between Osceola and Wilson. And this is going to be crossing the Mississippi River within the next 5 or 6 minutes maximum. There you see the river right there. And that is the biggest area of concern. If there's not a tornado in this storm, damaging winds are still a concern. Now, this is kind of a rural area out here in the floodplain as you cross over into Lauderdale County, but eventually this is going to get close to Highway 51, which is right here. There you see Covington up toward Ripley. That is an area we're going to watch. But for right now, the storm track for the next 20 minutes or so, again, some smaller communities here. Fulton about 407, Key Corner at 413. Porter Gap also at 413, and then Fort Pillow. You might know Fort Pillow State Park. We're expecting the worst of this storm to be there around 415. So again, a tornado concern with this storm, but even if the tornado does not hit you, keep in mind tornadoes are small. Everybody's going to see the damaging wind gust of 60, maybe even 70 miles an hour.
And that's going to be along Highway 140. Again, we've mentioned the medical district in Osceola. This is going to be right along Highway 140 that runs east-west. That is the area that we're talking about right now where this potential tornado is headed. The medical district of Osceola, if you live there, I don't even have to go into detail. You know where I'm talking about. This is now a live look from our RDOT camera. This is I-55 between Osceola and Blytheville, and this is one of the worst areas of weather right now, and that is the camera we're looking at. I-55 in between Osceola and Blytheville. We already know that a semi-truck has been blown off I-55 at mile marker 58. That in and of itself should tell you we are dealing with some high winds, dangerous winds, that, look, can blow semis off the road. You don't want to be driving. That's confirmed now. No confirmed tornadoes on the ground, but a serious situation. And you can see our camera. You can't see anything. That's how bad the weather is. You don't want to be driving that. The only thing I see is the sheets of rain coming down. Okay, sheets of rain coming down and the trees blowing. Let's go to that Mississippi storm chaser.
John, also associated with this, they're anticipating issuing another severe warning on the line of northern Lauderdale County. So this storm is just continuing to push up to the northeast.
Pushing east, exactly. That threat is moving east, as you say. So very important information there. You need to pay attention to us if you're in those areas. Now, this storm chaser right now is, help me out, guys. Where is it? This is Keith Frank, and he is driving toward Greenville, Mississippi. So, look, North Mississippi is really under the gun later this afternoon, although we're tracking really an intense storm and tornado warning number 2 for the afternoon for Osceola and Northeast Arkansas. And Danielle has got our threat tracker on here. This takes all of our products, it combines them, and shows you where the worst of the weather, where the strongest part of the storm could be. And she's zoomed into that right now. Incredible technology that we have here at ABC 24 to pinpoint these storms, to give you the most accurate look of where they are and where they're going. Trevor mentioned Covington a few moments ago. Metro Memphis looks like that's a new severe thunderstorm warning, guys.
Yes, it is.
So we have got.
They just issued it. Sorry, John, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, no. You
a
go
severe
ahead.
thunderstorm warning for Crittenden and DeSoto, Mississippi, Panola, Quitman, Tate, Tunica, Shelby until 4:45.
Okay, and we can't forget about that tornado warning that is over the casinos right now. A perfect time, if you don't have our app, to download it now, ABC 24, because, look, if you lose power and your device is charged up, you can still watch us and stream us through the app. Stream us online anytime. ABC24.com and our app, ABC24. You can get it on your Play Store, or if you are an Android person like myself, you can get it on the Google Play Store. Both of those are free. And you can text app also to 901-321-7520. Very helpful information in a situation like today. Should you lose power, we're going to be here.
They canceled the tornado warning for Lee Phillips and Tunica.
Okay, so that southern storm has now been canceled. Now, this tornado warning right here.
The polygon is just not clear yet.
Gotcha. So that being said, let's go back up to the other active tornado warning that we have in Northeast Arkansas. Let's get a check on that. And just kind of break this storm down. Let's just take a look at a bunch of different things. First of all, let's put a track on it. But you can see bright greens right here indicating the high winds. Same areas that have already been pounded by high winds from earlier today. Like I said, a semi thrown off the, Interstate 55. You know you've got 70, 80 mile an hour winds when that happens. And this storm tracking, like Danielle said a few moments ago, now it's going to be moving east of the Mississippi River and affecting our West Tennessee counties on this tornado warning. This the only right now active tornado warning in the area. There are a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings moving through the area. So high winds are affecting a lot of people. A dangerous afternoon if you're not smart. That's why we're here to help you out. And again, the best thing to do is just stay put in a sturdy shelter right now. Unless you, let's zoom back in here, Danielle, if we could. Unless you are just to the north and east of Osceola and east of Luxora near the Mississippi River, and you're in a mobile home, you need to get out and go to if you've got where you know a sturdy shelter is within 5 minutes, go now, because there could be a tornado on the ground. We don't have, the one good thing about today is that we have not received any reports of anything on the ground. I will tell you, it is hard to see a tornado in a situation like this because it would be rain wrapped. And even during the daytime, oftentimes you cannot see tornadoes that are rain wrapped, and that makes them all the more dangerous. Osceola, Luxora, this is the area of greatest concern in our coverage area right now where there is a potential tornado. And again, this will be extending into Tennessee. Really, Ripley, you guys need to pay very close attention to this, Ripley, Tennessee, because originally, well, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, but if this strengthens and continues on its path, you guys are going to be right in play and in line. So you have to pay very close, careful, watchful attention, as are we, because this storm really not showing any signs of weakening rapidly at all. I don't see any tight rotation in there right now, but there is enough high wind that could be rotating. Look, the atmosphere, if not for the rain, I would think we would have a all-out tornado outbreak right now, which we could still have. But so far, so good. But numerous damage reports from high winds. That we have not escaped, and we didn't think we were going to escape that. After all, the entire area is under a high wind warning. You don't see that very often here. Even here in the Mid-South, as crazy as things can get, it's rare for the entire area to be under a high wind warning, and that issued early in the day. So we're not done by any stretch. Let's not forget about Shelby County. Let's come back down to metropolitan Memphis and see what the situation is here as a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Shelby County. Danielle, would you click inside that box just to give an illustration so people can see? Yeah. This warning goes until 4:45, so another 35 minutes where high winds could affect metropolitan Memphis. In fact, probably will, as a matter of fact. And there could be additional power outages as these storms move to the north. They have been moving in an northeasterly fashion. The entire line is moving east, but the weather is getting worse in a lot of places and is going to continue to go down as the afternoon goes along. Everybody is under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. So tornadoes could occur anywhere. But right now, high winds are the major primary concern in Shelby County. And that probably is going to be the case going forward. I will tell you, though, that south of Shelby County and DeSoto County, we still have that active, unless they canceled it, guys. Did they cancel? Yeah, they canceled that.
Yes, they canceled it.
So that is just the one active tornado warning, that in northeast Arkansas over Osceola right now. So thankfully, that was canceled. This is the only active warning right now. But as you can see from our picture also, it's just not a good day to be outside traveling. It's not just the heavy rain and the potential flooding. It's the high winds that can blow your vehicle off the road. Like I said, we've already seen that. At mile marker 58 on Interstate 55, a semi blown off the road. That's how bad the winds are. That's how high the winds are. And we are still nowhere near out of the threat in our North Mississippi counties, where the atmosphere is even more unstable and the possibility for tornadoes is higher. The further east you get of Memphis. Danielle.
Right, John, speaking of North Mississippi, the DeSoto County Sheriff's deputies have a shelter for people who need it. That is at Lewisburg Elementary, and that's 1717 Craft Road. Once again, in DeSoto County, there is a storm shelter open at Lewisburg Elementary, and that's 1717 Craft Road. We are under that severe, thunderstorm warning, so go ahead and take this time now to get where you need to be safe.
Yeah, and that is an area that has grown tremendously over the last few years. And that is an area that 2 years ago, this past January, was hit by a tornado, Lewisburg, Mississippi. I believe it was 2 years ago in January. Yes, that's how crazy our weather patterns have been. So these people that live down near Lewisburg and in Lewisburg are certainly sensitive to situations like this. We don't have, thankfully right now, there is not an active tornado warning, but it's something we have to watch carefully. Lewisburg Elementary School, as Danielle was saying, they have opened up shelters there. And again, that area hit just over 2 years ago. A tornado ripped through the area in January. You can still see the damage actually as you drive down Craft Road of that tornado that ripped up trees and damaged houses. They fixed the houses now, the roofs, but you can still see those twisted trees in that area. So those folks certainly sensitive to that. active severe thunderstorm warning for part of Shelby County right now, not all but part, until 4:45 this afternoon. So high winds are still a concern, and power outages are obviously still a concern, and driving anywhere in the metro area right now is a concern. I don't want you driving. This is not the time to get out and do that. This is the time to basically shelter in place. Stay where you are. Let the storm pass. You don't want to be out in this mess. A serious situation here. We're under a level 4 risk of severe weather. Look, level 5 is the highest. So we're right up there between a level 4 and a level 5, and we still are not out of the woods yet. Trevor, I see you've got an interesting map up there with all our alerts and watches. I want to go to you for that and explain to everybody all these alerts and what's going on.
Well, we've been giving you a lot of bad news. We always want to take the time to give you some good news if we can, and that good news is that the tornado watch has been canceled for Poinsett and Cross counties. Tornado watch, of course, means tornadoes are possible. So now that that line has continued to move off to the east, Poinsett County, Cross County have been allowed to be expired from the tornado watch. Tornado watch is in effect for everybody else. That's that yellow shading you see. And then the orange blinking boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are where we're seeing damaging wind gusts. And then we do have that one little red tornado warning that is over near Osceola. And that is going to be hopefully allowed to expire soon. But strong winds are still a concern with this line basically bisecting the entire area. So if you haven't gotten the strong line of storms yet, you're going to, and you're going to see these strong damaging winds as well. If we can, let's go over to whatever we have, if it's a TDOT or if it's the camera at Clark Tower, whatever we have, let's take it and just get a good view of what's going on outside. That Clark Tower camera might be good, but here is, looks like either Interstate 55 or Interstate 40 over in Arkansas, and you see the rain is coming down. The folks are driving, hopefully taking it slow because, of course, we have been talking about the damaging wind gusts. We've been talking about the potential for tornadoes. When it rains this hard, you're going to get ponding on the roadways. You're going to get very heavy rain, and I believe this is actually in West Memphis, probably on the west side of West Memphis over near the Split. The bottom line is heavy rain, gusty winds, possible spin-up tornadoes, and unfortunately, John, it's going to be coming in right in time for the evening commute. Speaking of that, here's Clark Tower right now looking west toward downtown Memphis. On a sunny day, you'd be able to see downtown from this view, but unfortunately, we can't. Too much rain, too much cloud cover. Folks on Poplar Avenue, they're fine right now. It's a little breezy, some light rain, but as this line continues to move in within the next 15, 30 minutes, 45 minutes into Memphis, we are going to have some gusty winds and heavy rain to contend with. That's going to put a real damper on this evening commute.
No doubt about it. And a couple things to point out here. First of all, to all the superintendents and decision makers who let kids out early today from school, great move on your part. Not worth it. So kids were allowed to be in a safe place and be out ahead of the storm. So great decision making on all the school decision makers to get the kids out early. And I hope we can think about that for future events. Danielle, you have got our rotation tracker pulled up here, and there is an intense really an intense signature here southeast of Osceola. Again, right along the Mississippi River, now pushing into Tennessee, going to be just north of Garland, Tennessee. The worst of this may be out of your area, Osceola. Still technically under a tornado warning. Don't let your guard down, but it does now look like this is pushing into Tennessee. And that still is the only active tornado warning we have right now. But you're going south. Yeah. Tell me what you're looking at. I mean, that's ugly.
Yeah, this is a new severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Shelby County, Tipton County, Tennessee, as well as Mississippi County, Arkansas until 5 o'clock.
That is nasty looking, what you are tracking on the radar right there. Anytime you see these bright red colors and the green, that could be 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds as that crosses the Mississippi River right now. That is going to do damage to property. That is going to take out power. Gilt Edge, Munford, Atoka. We love our fans of Atoka, by the way. Shout out to you guys. Definitely always looking out for you. Thank you for watching us. Brighton, Covington, Garland, Rosemark, which is about it. I think that's the last town before you get out of Shelby County, Rosemark, and then you're into Tipton County, Galloway, Arlington, stay on guard. You're really not in the warning for this right now, but this is folks, this is a nasty line of high winds in excess of perhaps 70 miles an hour. It's a mean radar signature, so you have to stay in your safe spot. Look, even though this is not a tornado warning, I'm telling you to go to your safe spot because those winds, they can blow out windows. You don't want to be on the top floor of an apartment. Go downstairs, go to the central lobby, away from windows. Hopefully you have friends on the first floor. If you don't, make friends for the next event so you can know where to go. But come down low. Even with thunderstorm wind damage, the most likely areas to get hit are on top of the buildings, and the lower you can go, the better. The closer you can get to the interior part of a building, also the better. Away from windows, covering your head. Severe thunderstorms, and especially in this case, can be just as dangerous when we're seeing and already have seen winds like we have seen today, up to 70, maybe perhaps 80 miles per hour. Don't know for sure yet, but when you blow tractor trailers off interstates, you know they're high. And this warning goes until, active tornado warning goes until, yeah, I thought so. Okay, 4:30 for Lauderdale County. We'll see if it's extended. I doubt they would cancel it early, although they have been doing that this afternoon. The National Weather Service, when the threat of a tornado goes down, they have canceled warnings early. But that is not the case so far. The good news is, as you go east, it is a severe thunderstorm warning. Also, the good news, Trevor had a map up earlier showing you, we always love to report good news, that the Weather Service is also scaling back the tornado watch. So in those counties that have been taken out of the watch, you no longer have a threat. And look, it's nice to finally see that trend taking place where things are getting better in our extreme western counties, and that's going to improve over the next 2 to 3 hours. But we are far out of the woods, especially east of the Mississippi River, and especially in our North Mississippi counties. What about Shelby County right now? Let's come back into Shelby counties because we still have an active severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County due to high winds. And look, the power outages, that situation has really been fluctuating today. Can we get a power outage map? A look at that. Might be helpful since we are under a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't see any signs of a tornado right now. Holding at about 11,000 customers, now down to 5,000. That's a good refresh. And there is some type of serious outage in Collierville, looks to be just north of Poplar. That one has gone on for hours. So obviously, you know, a serious damage to a transformer. I don't know if it's from an accident or what, but that looks like it could be an area where power is out for quite some time. Speaking of which, another good reminder to download our app if you are just joining us in case you lose power. ABC 24, you can watch us in the palm of your hand as we stream online live, and you can continue to get the same information that you're getting right now by watching television on our app if you lose power. ABC 24, pretty easy to remember. You can also text APP app to 901-321-7520. If you can do so safely, you can also text us any damage pictures that you have, but we do not want you to compromise your safety. But if and when you can do so, text us your pictures so we can have confirmation and know what's going on. I see a new storm track over there, Trevor, that you have set up, tracking some rotation. So let's go to him and show us what you're tracking.
Well, John, when I talked to you a couple of minutes ago, I was telling you that the line of storms from Tunica down into the Delta had the potential to produce some quick spin-up tornadoes, but it was really going to produce damaging wind gusts. And this is the line that is going to be moving into at least parts of the Memphis metro area. So I wanted to track it out for you because there are still at least some signatures that there could be small areas of rotation on the leading edge of that storm line. So I pulled up our rotation detector, and you see a couple of dots there. I just went ahead and tracked out the whole line. That would put that line of storms near Senatobia at 437, Landers Center 443, South Haven proper, 445. Now, South Haven's big. I'll tell you, our dot is at Goodman and Airways. So Goodman and Airways around 445. Stone and Grove on Getwell, 447. Airport area, 450. And Clark Tower, where we have that camera at, around 455. So again, no tornado warning on this right now. But damaging winds are basically a guarantee, at least wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And this could easily spin up another quick tornado at any minute. So we're going to keep an eye on it as it moves into Memphis.
And let's go to Danielle, because I think you've got some new information about that active tornado warning.
Yes, exactly. Good news, actually. They have expired the tornado warning for Mississippi, Arkansas, and Lauderdale, Tennessee. So that has expired now. But you can see, like John was saying, if we take links 1 here, there is a lot of rotation there. So even though the tornado warning is done, that doesn't mean that the thunderstorm threat is still not active. That noise was them continuing a severe thunderstorm for Panola, Quitman, Tallahatchie as well. Possible dangerous threat, considerable winds, 70-mile-an-hour winds. So these winds are just very dangerous. In fact, if you guys could take links 1, I want to show you the wind gusts right now. There you go, John. 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts right now moving through the metro Memphis area. You can see in Corinth and in Jackson, they are over 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This could definitely blow down some power lines and some trees as well. So even though you might not be getting those thunderstorms, these winds could be causing damage on their own. It's very important that you know that. So you need to be very weather aware. If you go outside and you see a down power line, don't drive over it, don't walk over it. Go ahead and call your company so they can come out and fix that immediately, because that wire still could be live. You don't know what's going on. You definitely don't want to be electrocuted. But good news coming out of Lauderdale County that they have canceled that tornado warning.
All right, that is absolutely excellent news as our most accurate forecasting team works together this afternoon to give you the most accurate forecast. Also, I do think that these storms are going to start to speed up and move in a more easterly direction over the next couple of hours. I really think that these are starting to pick up some speed, and as this line continues to march east, it will pick up speed and eventually be out of the area, but it's going to be a couple of hours. It'll be less than that in Metro Memphis and our counties in East Arkansas. Again, several counties already removed from the tornado watch, but the threat's still very real across a good bit of West Tennessee and, of course, in the warnings. But from Oxford up to Holly Springs, over to Ripley, Bolivar, Hardeman County, McNairy County, your risk of a tornado is still significant because the worst of the weather is just now approaching these areas. And actually, the Storm Prediction Center, that's where their bullet zone kind of had been. So we're not out of the woods yet by any stretch. But I do believe over the next couple of hours, our weather will start to improve from west to east. And I also believe that this threat will be out of the area and even our eastern counties most likely by 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. All right, live storm chaser for you. Help me out here. Let's see. He's again driving toward Greenville. This is Keith Frank driving toward Greenville. And, well, you can see more now than you could a few minutes ago. But these are trained spotters, folks, that go, I mean, really directly into storms. And I'm very thankful for them, but they're trained, so don't do it if you're not trained. But they can give us just invaluable information and confirmation of what's going on outside visually. And look, information that we really wouldn't otherwise get just from a radar or from a bulletin itself, a severe bulletin. You can see the picture of him driving into the storm, but there is visibility here. Again, we'll keep an eye on our storm chaser, Keith Frank, that is moving toward Greenville, Mississippi, as he continues to provide us with information incredibly invaluable. Yeah, why don't we do that? This is good to put a storm track on here. Some of the highest winds let me just step you through the locations and the times. These are for high wind gusts now, so that's what we're tracking, and what you can do about this is not get outside.
That's 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts there.
70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, folks. We told you that these were some serious winds. Mud Island in 2 minutes, basically downtown now. The Medical District at 435. Fraser, that's the northern part of Memphis at 434. Crosstown, boy, Crosstown, been so many cool things going on the last several years in Crosstown. That's just east of the Medical District in your area at 437. Midtown in about 10 minutes. And for those that live in Midtown, you know you can lose power easily and quickly. So make sure everything's charged up. Overton Square, the zoo at 440, Overton Park at 440, the Cooper Young area at 442, and also Graceland at 442. So now the highest winds are starting to move into Shelby County, and these are severe thunderstorm winds, not necessarily tornado winds. That is still a possibility, but this is another line and area that could take out power. And in fact, I think probably will for a lot of people. Danielle just mentioned it, 70-mile-an-hour winds. We've seen our fair share of power outages so far in 2022. Let's hope it's limited and that these are weakening, but I don't really see any signs of that right now. Can we do this? Can we go to just regular velocity and maybe take a look at the colors and put some numbers on here? Some of these bright reds in here. Let's zoom into that, Danielle, if you could. I mean, you could see it. Look, 63-mile-an-hour wind, 60-mile-an-hour wind. This is going to take out power. This is going to do damage to trees.
Look at that one, John, 85-mile-an-hour one.
Oh, my goodness. 85-mile-an-hour wind gust. That is just south of South Haven in this line that is moving east. There are strong winds headed toward the South Haven area, and there are going to be significant power outages. Now, this is the worst of the weather that is going to be moving through Metro Memphis right now. And I mean, hear the thunder at our building here near Bartlett, the television station. So these high winds are moving through right now. That is the biggest threat. The storm now is in downtown Memphis. It is moving east, so it will affect all of Shelby County. In fact, that is why Shelby County is under a severe thunderstorm warning as we speak for high winds. We just measured a potential 84-mile-an-hour wind gust on our radar. Now, that could be just above ground level, but even if it's just above ground level, 60 miles an hour at ground level is going to do damage. Also, we're not out of the threat of a possible tornado either. You need to watch this area in between South Haven and Hernando. We don't want to see this green get too close to that red. There's some broad rotation going on, I can tell you right now, but that's an area to watch right here. The tornado threat not over. High winds right now are rolling through Metro Memphis. Out east, you're about to get hit with high winds. Also, DeSoto County, South Haven, Olive Branch, headed your way, Lewisburg. You guys are going to have high winds moving through, and it is just not a good idea to go outside or to drive. This is the time you want to be sheltered in place. Stay there. Don't leave until we give you the all clear. But some damaging straight line winds are moving through Shelby County right now and will continue to push east over the next half hour. This warning, will you click on that, Danielle? I just want to do a confirmation.
This thunderstorm warning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that goes until 4:45. Look, these storms are starting to speed up a bit, especially with those winds we just tracked of 80 miles an hour. And there's still a concern on this southern part of the warning of some rotation. Hopefully, nothing will develop into a tornado. But there are a couple of areas west of Hernando and southwest of Hernando approaching I-55 right now. So that's something we're watching out for as well. But definitely the worst coming through right now, Metro Memphis. The weather will start to improve in the next half hour to hour or so as these winds continue to move across Shelby County. But I would be really surprised if we don't hear about some damage. I hope so. I'd be very happy, but I'd be surprised. Danielle?
I was going to just try to see if there was any local storm reports, and there haven't been yet.
Okay.
So that's, if we back it out just a little bit. There we go. Most of them are up there where the tornado warning was issued earlier this afternoon. So just make sure that you're being very weather aware. We can't say that enough. This is exactly where that semi was blown off the road at I-55 and 58 mile marker there, right there where John is pointing, right north of Osceola.
Yeah, and like you said, that's where the tornado warning storm was. And actually, we had two tornado warnings.
Yes.
I think that came from the first warning.
Right, it did.
Okay.
And all of these little marks that you see on your screen, they look like broken trees. Those are all thunderstorm wind damages or non-thunderstorm wind damage. It's all wind damage, basically. So whether it's trees blown down, tree branches in the road, tree across residential road, there's a lot of that happening right now. And we're continuing to get these reports in our chat with the National Weather Service and different emergency management offices. We've seen accidents and all kinds of things. The major one that we saw was the semi blown off the road, and you can only imagine how high the wind had to be to blow a semi off of the road.
No doubt about it. In fact, guys, you can take us off screen right now. Let's go to that, if we have it, that East Memphis cam off Clark Tower looking west. I'm very curious to see what it looks like right now as this storm is rolling through. If we don't have it, we don't, but if we do, we do. Danielle, just wanted to point that out.
There's a Clark Tower video right there. I mean, you can barely even see. The visibility is low because there's so much rain and the wind is making the rain come in horizontally. This is a live look outside right now. It's a mess outside. We do not suggest you get in a car and drive anywhere unless you are going to a storm shelter. Because like John said, the eastern part of our viewing area, you are not clear yet. All of this stuff is just now moving through Shelby County and Memphis, but Bolivar, Corinth, Holly Springs, we're still anticipating this line to move your way. Just see what's happening here. The storm reports, the trees broken, the power lines are out, the semi-trailer blown over on this side. These are the things that you can expect are coming your way. Hopefully we start to see these storms kind of taper off a little bit, maybe lose some of their severity. The winds die down a little bit, but we just showed you 85-mile-an-hour winds. That can cause severe damage. Rain does not have to be included in that package. So just take your time. Please do not go anywhere on those roads. I'm looking at this road in front of us, and it doesn't look like there's that many cars, which is a little bit surprising, but maybe I-40 at the Nando Bridge. I think Trevor's going over there. That is not a good sight. That's not what we want to see, right, Trevor?
No, it is not. I just happened to click this up. Let's go ahead and take this all the way full just to give it a little bit of a better idea. Danielle, that's not anything too crazy, right?
No, no, it's not.
Let's take this camera full. This is downtown Memphis right now. What you would normally be able to see is the bridge. There you see the exit, Riverside Drive, Front Street, I-40 going east toward Nashville. This is pointing toward downtown Memphis and the leading edge of that storm just beginning to come in. So folks are not able to travel. I'll tell you that. There's somebody right there. The camera kind of froze, but that's somebody right there with their hazard lights on. That is illegal. You cannot drive with your hazard lights on. If your hazard lights are on because it's raining too hard, it's probably raining so hard you shouldn't be driving. So stop. Wait 15, 20, 30 more minutes at work until the storm can pass for you to be more safe. Because like I said, if you feel like the rain is coming down so hard that you have to turn on your hazard lights, you probably should not be driving. Work, I'm sure, will let you stay for 30 to 45 more minutes. I know nobody wants to stay at work for 30 to 45 more minutes, but that's just the safest thing to do. All right, let's come back out to the video wall. We'll show you the radar right now, and you see where the heaviest of that is just beginning to come into downtown Memphis, and what you saw there is going to spread across town. So you're not seeing a lot of rain right now in East Memphis, Northeast Memphis, Wolf Chase. It is coming. We still have that very strong line of storms coming through DeSoto County right now, Tate County. This is all, once again, coming right into the Memphis metro area. This is not a tornado, at least not right now. We don't have any indications of rotation for what's coming into the Memphis metro area, but it's still dangerous. So those thunderstorm safety tips are going to be important. We want you to stay indoors, remain away from windows. I'm going to add to this, stay off the roadways. I know you want to get home. I know you do, but it's just best not to right now. Charge your cell phones, keep your flashlights nearby in case that power does go out, and stay away from electrical equipment, anything that's corded to your house you don't want to be touching in case lightning does strike. I think we might have another TDOT camera. Is this one in South Haven? Do we have that one available, Dana? Okay, Kirby. All right, already got an accident, 385 in Kirby. Look at this. This just happened, folks. Police not even on the scene. Our producer Dana on top of things this evening, getting us a view of this. This is 385 at Kirby. I don't know if this is eastbound or westbound traffic, but that is a nasty accident. Look at that.
Yeah,
That looks like a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
385 is always ponding.
It is, and people, you know, do not obey the speed limit. I think we all know that on 385. So that I'm going to assume that's a Jeep or maybe a GMC spun around. I assume maybe they fishboned or you know, fishtailed a little bit around and spun around. Once this tractor trailer gets out of the way, we can give you a better idea. But again, what you're looking at is 385 in Kirby, an accident here. Something tells me this is eastbound traffic. I don't know for sure, but I'm just guesstimating here that that's eastbound going toward Collierville. But once we get the official report, okay, this is westbound. I was wrong. So this is westbound coming into 240, and the traffic you see on the other side there is headed toward Collierville. So if you are trying to come into the city on 385 into Memphis, you're going to have to deal with that accident. And I'm really afraid that we're going to have a lot more of this because folks are driving, not paying attention to the rain, not paying attention to the roadway. They're likely, some of them could be going above the speed limit. Do we have another accident? Let's go ahead and get right to it. I-55 in Brooks. This is down near the Welcome Center, southbound toward DeSoto County. Goodness gracious, folks, I'm telling you, this is why we're telling you, even if there's not a tornado, it's best to just wait this out until the storm passes because it's so easy to hydroplane on the roadways with this kind of rain, and then with the wind driving so hard and so heavy, it's really, really hard to see. So again, your thunderstorm safety tips, it's not on here right now, but I want to add in that if you do not have to drive right now, let's not have you on the roadways. Again, it's 5 o'clock, people trying to go home. Let's just wait a little bit. If you can give it until 5:30, 5:45, things will be a lot better in Memphis. But until then, damaging wind gusts and heavy rain, a big concern.
Right. I've also been looking at some of these local storm reports. They keep coming in. If we could put links one up there on the screen with me as well. We've seen there is a funnel cloud that's been reported, and that is near Michigan City. Also, there has been a roof torn off of a mobile home. These winds are nothing to play with. Just like Trevor was saying, not only is hydroplaning, you know, very easy, but with the winds, that is just almost inevitable. The winds are very, very high at this time. As these thunderstorms rolling in, we're looking at 70+ mile-an-hour winds. That could definitely blow down trees easily. We've seen a number of power lines broken easily. We're talking about semis being pushed off the roads. We've seen 2 accidents in the last 5 minutes. This is serious, folks. Mobile home roofs being ripped off. If you live in a mobile home right now and you have not seen the worst of this storm, go ahead and find a storm shelter, find another place to be, because this is nothing to play with, because the winds will also do just as bad of a damage as a tornado. This is a look right now at our current radar. You can see all of these storm reports. Trees are down. There's a lot of wind damage all across the Mid-South. Just keeping a collection of these things. As these reports come in, they're popping up on the screen. Just in the last 5 minutes since Trevor has been talking about the interstates and things like that, you guys need to make sure if you're on the road, it needs to be an emergency. We cannot stress that enough. There's minor street flooding in Bolivar. It's serious out there. We cannot stress it enough. If you're in a car, some people might think that if you pull under an underpass, that's not the safest thing to do. Debris can fly under, and so could a funnel cloud. And that could just cause more debris to cause you injury. You may have noticed that underpasses are not enclosed, and that means that projectile objects could go through your windows. Also, you could potentially be blocking other people that are trying to get home, trying to get to their family, trying to do the best that they can. So the best thing for you to do is find shelter in a store. See if you find a house, knock on the door, try to do your best. Also, you can get into a ditch if you need to. If you can't get out of the car, then buckle your seatbelt and try to put something over your head. But we want you to make sure that you keep the seatbelt on. We know some people don't like to keep their seatbelt on, but that's the worst thing you can do in a vehicle, especially when there's a strong storm headed your way. Winds like this, we've already heard them pushing over semis. They could definitely push over a car. Stay in the car if you have to, but do not leave your safe place at this time. We've been tracking this storm for hours. I've been tracking this storm since this morning. We've seen the same pattern all across. High winds, rain. High winds have been the biggest thing. We also saw a tornado in Springdale, Arkansas. If we can bring up that video, that was crazy. Luckily for them, there were no injuries reported so far. So we definitely want to keep that in mind as we see these storms go along. And like I said, our complete viewing area is not out of the clear. This is a look there at Springdale, Arkansas. The recovery effort is still happening, and that happened overnight. This is what it looked like this morning when the sun came out. This is near Missouri and the Kansas border, and the National Weather Service says that hurricane force winds, what we've been seeing here, and a possible tornado touched down last night. So far, there's no reports of serious injuries, so that's good news there. But you can see, I mean, look at those buildings. When you can see the insulation of a building, that is a scary storm that's moving through. And it's the exact same storm that is moving through our area right now. Trevor, you got some stuff over there.
Yeah, I just wanted to zoom back into the metro area to talk about, a lot of folks trying to go home right now, but we have a very strong storm that's already rolling through parts of Memphis and is about to roll through other parts. I want to reiterate, we do not have a tornado concern, at least right at this moment, in the city of Memphis or in the metro area. That includes DeSoto County. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we have any tornado warnings. No. So that is great news. So right now, there is not a tornado concern for anybody. Now, there could be a spin-up tornado at some point in the afternoon. We can't call the all clear, but right at this moment, it's not our concern. Our concern is damaging wind gusts, and it's that line of storms that's coming into Memphis right now. Downtown, you're getting hit right now. Southwest Memphis over near Shelby Drive, Highway 61, Walls and Horn Lake, right into Senatobia. You're getting all of it right now. And I wanted to just kind of take you on a bit of a camera tour. To be honest with you, I opened up every T-Dot camera I had, and I think that might give us an idea of what is going on around the area. So as soon as this loads, let's go ahead and take all of this full, and we can get an idea of kind of what is going on around the city. This is I-240 downtown. You see the blinding rain. The camera's frozen up, but you can see the very heavy rain that is happening around the region. Now, there's Bill Morris and Kirby. We were talking about that accident. The T-Dot yellow truck now on the scene, but it looks to me that it looks like a GMC or a Jeep SUV probably hydroplaned and spun around and either hit the guardrail or hit the car that was coming into it. So if you're gonna be on the road, you gotta take it slow and take it safe. We've got another accident to tell you about. Austin P Highway. This is on the north leg of 40. You see that in the right lanes there. So the two right lanes blocked, I-40 and Austin P. Do we know if this is eastbound or westbound? And there's the backup. Yeah, so there's Warford. So it's going to be eastbound traffic because traffic at Warford is blocked going toward Austin P and eventually toward the flyover. So again, I'm going to reiterate it. If you can stay off the roads, you need to stay off the roads. I know a lot of people are trying to go home, but just go ahead and hold out for a little bit, let this pass, because now you've got traffic on top of that and accidents all over town, John.
Yeah, and I stepped away for just a moment, but look, Danielle and I were just looking at this, Actually, this is a new concern south of Senatobia. We're seeing some rotation on the radar. Two shear markers popping up right here in between Sardis and Senatobia. This is along I-55. This is brand new, and these storms are now moving into an environment that is more likely to produce tornadoes. Not so much as Trevor was saying right now in Shelby County. Still can't rule that out. But this is now the area that we've been most concerned about all day, to be honest with you, for tornadoes touching down, even potentially strong tornadoes. This is in between Senatobia and Sardis and Batesville, for that matter, as these storms are lifting northeast and starting to rotate. We're going to put a track on here for you so you can get an idea of who is in the path. Let me tell you that a tornado could develop quickly at any moment's notice. If I call your town, go to your safe spot. No tornado warning yet, but one could come at any minute. Those spinning circles indicate serious rotation. Danielle, can you pull that storm track over just a little bit? They split the 2 box on me. Pleasant Hill at 4. Can we take this full, guys, please? Pleasant, because this is an important storm track. Pleasant Hill at 4:54, Olive Branch at 4:59, the Micro Soccer Complex, which in southern Shelby County, near State Line Road and East Shelby Drive at 5:05, Byhalia at 5:06, Abbeville. This is Abbeville, Mississippi, north of Oxford. Fortunately, they closed the catfish place down there. It was so good, but that's just north of Oxford. Collierville at 5:10, Piperton at 5:13, and Holly Springs at 5:16. So this is a serious storm that we're tracking here that could produce a tornado. Right now, a severe thunderstorm warning is active for all these towns and locations that are on your television screen, but something to watch. Danielle, can we click on that skit? I'm curious to see what the tornado index is as we track that in the middle of these storms. I'm curious to see. Oh my goodness, look folks, this is the highest of the day. 6.4 is our tornado index now. We have not seen a number this high so far today. And now we're getting rotation signatures. These spinning circles indicate some rotation in between Senatobia and Como, moving east, crossing I-55. This is the area that we've been thinking all day has the highest chance of a tornado, and now there's no warning yet. But our radar is strongly indicating, if nothing else, some serious winds. But that tornado index of a 6.4, the highest we've seen all afternoon. So this has got to, a storm we have to pay attention to. Right now, an active severe thunderstorm warning there until 5:30. But this thing is moving northeast at about 50. Again, it's going to be hard to see a tornado. It would be rain wrapped where you look, you can't see it. So please don't go try to find it. But some serious wind right here. This is also going to be moving into an environment that is just as favorable for tornadoes now. I think we're getting into that mode east of Memphis where the storms are now really starting to fuel and fire and potentially rotate significantly. That's something we'll keep an eye out for. But we also have an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. They issued a new one, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but that one goes until 5:30 for the eastern part. So now the Weather Service is warning the high winds are headed more toward the eastern and northeastern and southeastern part of Shelby County and DeSoto County and Tate County for that matter. So the high wind threat is shifting east. And we'll see if there's any more damage. But
there's also an aerial flood advisory now for Craighead, Crittenden, Cross, Lee, Mississippi, Phillips, Poinsett, St. Francis, and parts of Missouri and Tunica, Dyer, Lauderdale, and including Shelby County and Tipton, Tennessee.
Okay, and we were showing you that accident on 385 a moment ago, that ponding that occurs, and the eastbound lanes are moving way too fast. Trevor?
Let's take the Clark Tower camera because we've got a shelf cloud actually moving into town right now. These typically happen when we get these damaging winds moving in with the storm. Take a look at that, a gnarly view. This is back downtown, looking back toward downtown from Clark Tower. And you see that line across the sky where the darker clouds are. A lot of people are really freaked out by these kind of clouds. These are not tornado clouds. What's happening is you've got the winds that are coming down from the storm so strongly that they create that kind of sharp cutoff on the clouds. So we should get a really nice view. Not nice in terms of what is going on the ground, but at least an interesting view as that shelf cloud passes over Clark Tower. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Again, that's with this line of storms just coming into Memphis. We've still got that area of possible rotation down in Tate County east of Senatobia. Right now in Memphis, our main concern is the damaging wind gusts. And let's just go back to that view one more time. And again, what you're seeing there is from Clark Tower, Poplar Avenue looking westbound. And kind of that shelf cloud you see, especially on the right-hand side of your screen. We're going to keep an eye on that. And if you see anything interesting, guys in the back, happening on that camera, take it full. Cut us off. We want to see it because that is going to be an interesting view. And something of note, John, We've been talking about how much wind energy is in the atmosphere. Look at the clouds.
I'm sorry, there's a tornado warning.
Tornado, is it for that Tate County?
Yeah, it is for Senatobia moving northeast at 50 miles an hour.
All right, so there's a new threat we've got to deal with. But Trevor, I was just about to say that, how fast the clouds were moving. So we still have the high wind threat in eastern Shelby County. This is a storm Danielle and I were on a moment ago about the rotation, and they have issued a tornado warning.
I'm going to clear this out and draw my own track because it's only giving me Byhalia right now.
Love it. Do that. This may be about as serious as we've had all day, other than that Osceola storm where a tractor trailer was thrown off I-55 at mile marker 58. This is concerning. This one right here, brand new tornado warning issued. We figured it would be. Our tornado index is the highest it's been all day. If I call your town, you need to take action, and take action immediately. Not trying to panic you, scare you unnecessarily, or freak you out, but you do need to take action. All right, let's go through this. Piperton at 5:35, Rossville at 5:38, Oakland at 5:52. This is a serious storm, and look, they have got, it's a small area. Can you turn off the severe thunderstorm warnings just for a second? Because I think it'll be easier for people to see. This flashing red box, we give you a lot of information, and I know sometimes it can be confusing, so we try to keep it as simple as possible, but sometimes we forget that there's a lot to explain, and you might not know exactly what we're talking about, so that's what we're trying to do. But brand new tornado warning. In fact, let's zoom into that if we could. Like I said, the tornado index, the highest it's been all day over Senatobia.
There's a tornado.
Tornado warning for Shelby.
So now we have a tornado warning for Shelby County. So we've got multiple tornado warnings. And I want to know the southeastern part of Shelby County.
Yep.
Guys, let's get on this and let's keep a track up. We can take a look at the different parameters, but let's keep a track up the entire time if we could. And this is headed toward Germantown, Olive Branch, just east of South Haven, and headed toward Collierville. This Olive Branch, you are close enough. You are in a tornado warning right now. For southeast Shelby County, you must take action. Go to your safe spot. Don't panic. We're going to get you through this, and we're going to get you through it safely, but don't go try to find it. Stay away from windows, first floor of your apartment, of your home, of your building, wherever you live, your house, away from windows. Folks, we've got a serious situation with a tornado warning now for southeast Shelby County. Clark Tower, look, Trevor was just showing you that shot a moment ago. Shelby Farms at 5:03, Germantown at 5:04, take action now. The Agri Center at 5:05, Southwind at 5:06, and the Micro Soccer Complex at 5:08. These are real-time tracks that are updating automatically, and I do want to keep a storm track up here so people can know when the storm may be coming their way. So what are we tracking? We're tracking a potential tornado. Where is it going? These towns right here and these locations. What can you expect? You can expect high winds for sure and a possible tornado. What do you need to do to take action? You need to go to your safe place now. Keep your shoes on. Make sure you've got your ID with you. Any medications, get those and go to your safe spot because we are dealing with something serious. And there also is a tornado warning south of this warning, but southeast Shelby County under a tornado warning. Look, let me also say this. If you live in like the Millington area or if you live in downtown Memphis, you may hear sirens going off. This is not a perfect system. This system needs to be perfected. And look, they're working on it, but it's not perfect. So your sirens are going to be going off all over the county, but this is for a specific area right here in southeast Shelby County. Again, Germantown in the path, the Ag Center. Trevor, you got some new information? Let's go to Clark Tower and take a look.
Because this is actually going to be a decent view. It's looking kind of west-southwest, but that area of rotation down near Hickory Hill.
Let's take that camera,
And
guys.
so East Memphis, downtown, midtown, not included in the tornado warning. Let's go to that Clark Tower camera if we can. because it is a really nasty view of this storm moving in. Take a look at that. This is a live view over Poplar Avenue. Folks, you cannot be driving in this right now. I know the tornado warning only includes portions of Shelby County, portions of DeSoto County, but you do not want to be driving at all as this storm comes in. Let's double box this and come back to me, because that storm is coming into Midtown and East Memphis right now. But as we're watching that, I also want to go over those tornado safety tips for those folks that are included in the tornado warning, which does include southern Shelby County, northern DeSoto County, and then another tornado warning for parts of Marshall County. So if you're in that tornado warning, we want you on an interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Go ahead and put on your shoes, cover your head with something if you can. If the kids have a bicycle helmet, that's great. And then if you're in a car or a mobile home, again, you have to stop driving. You've got to find a better shelter somewhere to get into. Really quickly, I'm going to show you the interior portion of your home. That's the best place you want to be, right there. Bathroom, closet, away from windows. Danielle.
That's right, Trevor. We just got, they continued a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Shelby County as well. Considerable wind, 70-mile-an-hour wind. In Memphis, it's always a good idea to have a NOAA weather radio in case the power goes out and your phone dies. Another point, get those phones charged up now. If you have a portable charger, always make sure it's charged, and choose an out-of-state friend to check in with. There's definitely good information there. Have your weather radio on. Have multiple streams of communication as well as our app. Let's take a look, though, at our radar. I have a fresh track on there for you, John.
Yeah, and let's keep this track up, because this is an active situation, and I want people to know where the storm is, where it's going, and when it's going to be to your home. We've been telling you about what to do and what not to do. Now is the time to take action in Germantown, because in about 6 or 7 minutes, there could be a tornado coming over you. Olive Branch in 5 minutes, Byhalia at 5:07, Southwind, the golf course, at 5:07, the micro soccer complex, which is near Shelby Drive, along Shelby Drive, Collierville at 5:16, Piperton at 5:20, 5:21 Holly Springs and Rossville at 5:26. Active tornado warning. What about the Clark Tower cam? Trevor's been taking a look at this. Let's go back to that if we could, just to take a look at it. You can't see anything. The visibility is near zero. The rain is coming down so hard. And look, you're just, that is what you would be driving into. You don't need to be driving. You need to take shelter. If you, let's go back to the radar. If you are in those towns that we talked about, you need to take action now. Again, Olive Branch, Germantown, Collierville, Lewisburg, Mississippi, that got hit by a tornado just over 2 years ago. I hope people went to the emergency shelter that they that they opened at Lewisburg Elementary School. But now is the time for action. We're going to get you through this, and we're going to get you through it safely, but you got to stay safe. Cover your head. Danielle.
John, there's a number of apartment complexes in this area. I'm very familiar with this area. Yeah. So if you are in an apartment complex, or you know someone in an apartment complex, tell them to go downstairs to the bottom floor, knock on their neighbor's door, get into the bottom floor of that apartment complex. There's a lot of apartments in this area that we're talking about at this time. Please make sure you go to your safe place. Like John was saying, there is a storm shelter in DeSoto County at Lewisburg Elementary. We cannot stress this enough. This is the time for you to go ahead. This is a tornado warning, people. We're not talking about a tornado watch.
And I do want to go over to Trevor quickly now, because he's got what looks like a great track on this now. The area where a tornado would be, and the track. Let's go to Trevor and take him full at the 9-pack. Trevor, that looks like a good track to me. Explain what you're seeing.
Yeah, what I want to do is just kind of zoom into the area we're most concerned about in Shelby County, because everybody's hearing sirens right now. Everybody is hearing the phone alert. If you are in downtown Memphis, Midtown, East Memphis, anywhere in the 240 loop, you are not included in this tornado warning. Airport not included, Bartlett area not included. The area of concern are these areas of rotation here, and I know it's hard to see these roads. What you're looking at, there's 385, there's 240, and there's Cableville. The BNSF train yard is right there, and this is all moving off to the east. Here's Shelby Drive, and I'll tell you, it looks like the most notable area of rotation is going to ride along Shelby Drive. There's Shelby and Hickory Hill. Hickory Ridge Mall sits right there, moving off to the east, and this is going to kind of ride along 385. So absolutely No one needs to be driving right now on 385. Unfortunately, crews working on accidents on 385, but all of 385 from 240 over to 269 included in this tornado warning. South wind area where the at-home store is, you're up next for this. Again, even if there is not a tornado, we are going to have very strong winds moving off to the east, and eventually this is going to be a concern for Collierville as this continues to move off. There's Collierville, Bailey there, all the way along Poplar Avenue. These are the areas in Shelby County that need to take action and be in their safe place. But again, right now, downtown, midtown, East Memphis, Cordova, you are not included in this tornado warning, but damaging winds are still a concern.
And it's great to point out, Trevor. And I'll tell you, if you know where the Baptist Medical Hospital is along Poplar Avenue, just to give you a perspective, that's where this storm is going right now. The Baptist Hospital on Poplar, just to give everybody a reference, that is one of the areas that's really under the gun right now. By the way, there's another tornado warning south of that. We can't forget about our friends in Byhalia. There's another tornado warning headed toward, well, it looks like that would be the east part of Olive Branch. But this tornado warning right here, we saw it earlier. We saw it a minute ago. Not an actual tornado yet, but we saw what looked to be some very rough weather on our Clark Tower cam. And this, folks, is a serious situation. If you're in southeast Memphis, if you're anywhere from the Agri Center and Walnut Grove south into Collierville, Germantown, you need to be in your safe spot now and stay there until we tell you it's okay to come out. We don't have confirmation right now of anything, but there are some serious signs on our radar of strong indication of rotation, and there could be a tornado on the ground right now. We're waiting for any confirmation. I hope we don't get it, but let me tell you, this is a serious situation, and we want you to listen to us so you can stay safe in times like this. We're not trying to panic you. We're not trying to scare you unnecessarily. We're being calm so you can stay calm, but you got to listen to us and take action. Trevor.
John, report of damage in South Haven, warehouse damaged at 55 and State Line. Now, the area of rotation we've been watching has been just across the state line in Tennessee, but there's definitely some damage. South Haven, 55 and State Line. If you remember, that is about where the tornado hit way back in 2008, where those warehouses were damaged. That's what we're talking about. And again, that's moving off to the north and east, and that is going to be in the northern portion of South Haven. Moving now into Tennessee, but we do have that report of damage now, 55 and State Line, behind the old Kmart store, right in that area. That could be from wind, that could be from a tornado, but I'll tell you this, still signs of rotation as this moves off to the east. This is also a good time to tell you, again, if you're in the loop, you're not included in the tornado warning. Who is in southeast Memphis, Hickory Hill, Germantown, and Collierville.
Hey, Trevor, there's another, they continued the tornado warning. They're saying that this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Independence or 11 miles northeast of Senatobia, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. I'm about to put a track on it.
And we can go over to that other computer because this is the second tornado warning. That's the one that's for the Memphis area right now. We have an entirely different tornado warning that is down in the southern portion of the metro area in eastern Tate County, moving off to the north and east. And this also includes some of DeSoto County, but is really going to be more of a concern for Marshall County. Byhalia by 531. This one could also impact Collierville by about 546, Piperton 548, Rossville at 551.
And those two storms actually seem to be on a collision course if you look at it as this storm headed north towards southeast Shelby County. If you know where the Malco is in Collierville, that is another area that is under the gun. Poplar Avenue, anywhere in Collierville, is where the worst of this storm is headed right now. So you must be in your safe spot. And as far as where it could be going, Piperton, Rossville, Moscow, again, we're talking, guys, about a possible tornado. And there have been damage reports. Apparently, we don't know what it's from, but some high winds from actually, like Trevor said, that warehouse. I remember that day working back in 2008, Super Tuesday. It was in February 5th 2008. Could be a similar situation like that. The Super Tuesday outbreak, if you lived here back in 2008, you know what I'm talking about. It could be a similar situation like that. So we want you to take this seriously to remain safe. Maybe we can get down to some street level and get in a little bit closer. Put that sheer rate back on there. Yeah, all right, so where you see this bright green is where the potential tornado could be in this particular view right here. So Byhalia, Collierville, Piperton, Moscow, you're all in the path of this as this potential tornado moves through southeast Shelby County. And it's quite possible that the sirens are going off in a lot of places of Shelby County. It is important to point out that only southeast Shelby County is under this warning, tornado warning right now. Germantown, Collierville in the path. And John, Independence, go ahead.
That's the area that they're specifying as being the possible tornado there.
Independence, right here.
Yes, where I circled.
Okay, let's back it out. Well, no, that's okay. Actually, go back in so we can get some of these streets. Sycamore Road, and you can see this is we're in Tate County now, by the way. We have two tornado warnings. So we're in Tate County, Sycamore Road, not Sycamore View in Memphis, but Sycamore Road in Tate County. Here's Independence, Mississippi, right here. A tornado could be moving toward Rock Hill. And so these are the areas where you need to be in a safe spot right now. Let's go back to Shelby County, take a look at our active tornado warning. Again, we've got multiple tornado warnings right now, and this one has some really good signs of a tornado, but this one right here in Shelby County, you've got the reds and the greens. Again, this is not to Germantown just yet. It is moving over Olive Branch essentially right now. Lewisburg, you're also in the path of this. I know you're sensitive. You've been hit by a tornado just over 2 years ago. Be in your safe spot now. Shelby Drive, State Line Road, as we track this tornado, possible tornado. But we do have damage reports, but we don't know if it's from a tornado or not. Moving to the northeast at 45. Excellently drawn track, Danielle. 514, Germantown. Agri Center, which is at Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway at about 5:15. So we're talking 5-6 minutes. Also Southwind, where the golf course is, TPC Golf Course, just south of Germantown at 5:16. That's going to be near Winchester. Also strong signs of high winds and rotation headed toward those areas in the next few minutes. The Agri Center, Germantown, and look how fast that's moving. I mean, just updated. Stay in your place of safety. We'll let you know when it's okay to move and get out. Download our app right now. Also, it's free if you don't have it, ABC24. In case you lose power, you can listen to us and what we're saying. There it is right there. You can also text APP app to 901-321-7520. If you lose power, we're all over this storm for you to help you get through it and get through it safely. But
there's another tornado warning. Says a severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located over Cordova, moving east at 35 miles an hour.
So that's
definitely a
north.
heavily populated area.
So we have got a lot going on, folks.
It just the polygon is. Oh, there it is.
Oh wow!
There it
Look
is.
at this.
There it is.
Some
so we've
serious
got
rotation.
a brand new tornado warning, and
Yeah,
definitely we can see why. Look at this. Let's zoom into that. Lakeland, you're in the path. Arlington, this is serious stuff, folks. This is near the Wolf Chase Mall at Highway 64 and Germantown Road. This is going to be headed to the northeast. Anybody on Highway 64 that is, let's say, east of Germantown Road, you need to go in your safe spot now. Brand new tornado warning just issued from the National Weather Service. Been a long time since I've seen this. 2 separate active tornado warnings in Shelby County right now, and you must take this seriously. Go to your safe spot. All right, so that one was just issued. That goes, let's click the time.
Yes, there you go.
All right, timestamp. That one goes until 5:45. This is the one near Wolf Chase Mall moving northeast. That goes until 5:45. Safe spot now, which is away from windows. It's on the first level of your home, apartment. a building, wherever you are, get away from windows, because something to cover your head with and protect your head. That's where injuries occur. That's where life-threatening injuries most often occur. No flying debris. That's why we say get away from those windows. Again, this is just east of Wolf Chase Mall. If you do live near Cordova or anywhere near Wolf Chase, you know where I'm talking about right now. This thing is moving east, and the threat with this is a tornado. Not to be forgotten, by the way, that's also headed toward Eads. Not to be, go ahead.
I'm sorry, there's another severe thunderstorm producing a tornado near Germantown, moving 30 miles an hour.
Let's go back down to that one. This is nasty looking, folks. Not trying to panic you or freak you out, but I'm telling you, you need to be in your safe spot until we clear you.
Yeah, and once again, there's a lot of apartments right here.
A ton of apartments, you're right. I see Forest Hill right there. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. And yes, perfect. C.D. Smith Road. This is going to be near Germantown Road in the southern part of Shelby County, east now of Southwind. It looks like the worst has passed Southwind. I'm not clearing you yet, Southwind, but it looks like the worst has passed you. You can see we do have lightning. Here's Forest Hill right here, Winchester right here. That is east of Southwind toward Collierville. Collierville, you need to stay in your safe place right now. Again, on the first level, as Danielle said, she knows there's a lot of apartment complexes in here. Get down to the ground floor. Injuries can occur if you're up on top. I'm sorry, but leave your apartment room if you're on the third floor and go downstairs if you can now, because you don't have a lot of time, but yet that's what you need to do.
Right. Another safe place could be in the office
Perfect.
of an office building.
Perfect. The office of an office building. We just want to get you through this safely. We still don't have confirmation of tornado. What we do have confirmation of is some damage, but we don't know exactly yet, unless I have missed something, guys. I haven't been able to look at the chat in a while, but we do have damage to the warehouses near where the tornado in 2008, Trevor, came through. So we do have a history now of damage. And again, a tornado would be hard to see in a situation like this because there's so much rain. That's why we're saying take this seriously. Looks like the worst has moved east of Southwind now and is headed toward Collierville. Look how fast our scans are updating. Frank Road in Collierville near Lifetime Fitness and Baptist Collierville. People know where that is. The Malco in Collierville. Those are the areas that we're talking about. Collierville Square near Washington Street. Collierville Square, one of the best squares in all of America. That's what we're talking about. Areas where the storm is headed, and it's headed that way. It is a possible tornado, if nothing else. High damaging winds, a potential life-threatening situation if you don't take it seriously. Again, southeastern Shelby County. Here's Wolf River right here. This is going to be moving into Fayette County, but if you are anywhere in Collierville, you need to go to your safe spot now, get the kids downstairs. Obviously, not many people around here have a storm shelter. That is an ideal place to be, but many of us don't. Under a stairwell, if you've got like a closet, under a stairwell on the first level of your home, wherever you are, get under that. That is a sturdy place to be, away from windows. This is a serious situation, folks. And again, we're going to get you through this. This warning goes until 5:45 today, an active tornado warning as this cell continues to push east. Not to be forgotten, another tornado warning in northern Shelby County. Danielle, let's slide north because I don't want to forget about this tornado warning here. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter. It does look like now the worst would be east of Lakeland, about to head into Fayette County, and now is east of the Wolf Chase Mall. Here's Highway 64. Here's Eads. If you're in Eads, I need you to go to your safe spot now. Fisherville, this is going to be toward you in a matter of minutes. Again, possible tornado. In fact, two possible tornadoes now in eastern Shelby County. Cherry Road right here. Again, the red, that bright red, is where we're looking at for the potential of a tornado. And again, moving east, two areas in Shelby County. If you're in downtown Memphis, if you're in midtown Memphis, you are not under a tornado warning. It's these eastern parts of Shelby County, Collierville, east of Wolf Chase, headed into Eads. those are the areas where you need to be taking cover now. Stay there until we can clear you. Because if you will just stay in your safe spot for another 10 to 15 minutes, at least until we tell you to come out, things are going to be okay. So 2 separate tornado active warnings right now in Shelby County. Trevor, I want to go to you and let me toss it to you. Tell us the very fresh, most up-to-date information you have.
Well, I want to do a couple of things first. First of all, Danielle, if you don't mind, I want to zoom down to Marshall County. We have a couple of people asking about them, and we don't want to forget about them because we had that other tornado warning down there. Still some signs of rotation over Byhalia, but the good news is that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. I believe it was set to expire at 5:15. Don't get me wrong, damaging wind gusts, very heavy rain, and still the possibility of a spin-up tornado over Byhalia and Marshall County, and that's going to be moving up to the north and east toward Highway 72. But as of right now, no tornado warning in effect.
I got some new information, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located over Lakeland or near Cordova, again moving east at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, so if we zoom back up to the north, you can see these are only 2 tornado warnings right now, and it's along that little green line that you see there where we have the possibility of some spin-ups. So east of Lakeland, right there along Highway 64, going toward Eads and Oakland, and then another area moving right into Collierville. These are not confirmed tornadoes right now, but the possibility of some spin-up tornadoes, if not, definitely strong winds as this goes to the east. So if you're in Collierville, if you're over along Hacks Cross, Forest Hill, Irene, and then again along Highway 64 east of Lakeland, be in your tornado safe place. Really quickly, we haven't done this in a while. I want to go back over to Weather 2 in the video wall and give you those tornado safety tips. If you're just joining us, we want to remind you of what you need to do if you're in that tornado warning. First of all, go to an interior room on the lowest floor of your building. Danielle's been talking about very wisely, if you're in an apartment building, go down to the lower floor. The leasing office, the community center, a great place to be. You can't be up on the upper floors because there are a lot of apartment buildings over along 385. Put on shoes, cover your head. Helmets are great if you've got the kids. If you're in a car, gotta find somewhere else to be. Nobody should be driving in Collierville or along Highway 64 toward Eads and Oakland right now. But if you are at home, first floor, interior room, bathroom, or a closet, something toward the middle of your house, most importantly, stay away from windows and stay there until we can give you the all clear, which we will do as soon as possible.
Let's take that live shot now from Cordova. Tell me where exactly this is again, if you would. All right, we're just taking a look at what's going on here. You can see heavy rain, so let's go back off that because I don't see anything too crazy going on. I do want to come a little bit further south, Danielle, because I want to let you know if you live in Germantown, the threat is getting less for you. I'm not ready to clear you just yet, but it's getting close to where the threat for you is going down. So that's good news. But if you are in Collierville, anywhere in Collierville, you need to be in your safe spot. If you're just joining us, active tornado warning, and you need to be in a place, first of all, don't go outside. Secondly, stay away from windows. Thirdly, don't panic. We're here. We're tracking it for you. We'll tell you when it's safe to come out, but take this seriously, please, because we have 2 separate tornado warnings for Shelby County right now. It's rush hour. Hopefully people heeded our advice and stayed home. If you are at home, all these tips that we've told you about, again, the helmet, bicycle helmets, football helmets, whatever, injuries to the head. That's where most injuries, life-threatening injuries occur. So we want you to protect your head. Even if you have to get a mattress, anything. If you're going into the bathroom downstairs, apartment complex, get down, go to the office of your apartment. Just get off that higher floor, go down to a low floor because the apartments are more likely to have the worst of it up top. We are taking a look now at our storm relative velocity products, and we got winds up to 70 miles an hour near Powell Road. We don't have the intense rotation that we had a few moments ago. Okay, but that 73 mile an hour wind is nothing to play around with. Let's go back to Clark Tower really quickly one more time. Oh my goodness, look at the water, folks. And let me tell you something.
Want to do that.
People are doing what we preach not to do. all the time. That is driving right through flooding. Take this full. I want to show everybody at home.
You can see the water everywhere.
This is not smart, and this is dangerous, and these folks are going fast. This is why also I say avoid the curb lanes. But look, there is just an enormous amount of water covering the road, and these people are moving at a ridiculous speed. I'm telling you, please do not do this. It's just, it's killing me because you want to turn away from situations like this. That truck, SUV, whatever it's doing, that's stupid. I'm telling you, folks, this is not a good situation. Flooding on Poplar. Let's go back to the tornado warning. I don't want to forget about that. I mean, it's just incredible how much water. Yeah, look at this. And people are going to get stuck. And there are going to be accidents. They continue to do dumb things. And I hope you can learn a lesson from this if you're watching us at home of what not to do. Because so far, luckily, hopefully, nobody will get hurt. But my goodness, the authorities are not going to be able to get to you in a flooding situation. And they're not going to put their lives at risk, unless they just they can't get to you sometimes. And this continues to occur. I shouldn't say I'm amazed, but I really am surprised. And this is just a wonderful lesson of what not to do during flooding as water is covering the road. This is Clark Tower out east.
We have a tornado warning has expired for DeSoto and Shelby County, so that's just one of them. I mean, there's still multiple. There's still a second one out there. So
the tornado warning for southern Shelby County,
right?
That south one for like Collierville, and that was Germantown,
right? That was
and DeSoto,
going through DeSoto
that one has
as well.
been canceled,
right?
But the one north of that is still active.
Correct.
Okay, so we still have an active one tornado warning in Shelby County has been canceled. That is the one near Germantown, in between Germantown and Collierville. That one has been canceled. Okay, and our radar has updated. The other tornado warning is still active near Lakeland. You're right on the western fringe of this, but it does look like. Can we go to that shear map that we've been looking at? When I say shear, I know it gets technical. I'm just saying high winds that are twisting around and spinning. This is a good map to use. It does look like the worst of it is about to move out of Shelby County and into Fayette County. Here is the Shelby-Fayette County line right here. So Rossville, you guys have to pay attention. Oakland, along Highway 64, need you to go to your safe spot now and just make sure you take action and listen to us and be away from windows. Again, first floor of whatever building you are in. The worst of this is crossing the Shelby County line into Fayette County. Also, there's additional activity down into Marshall County. No official warning right now as far as a tornado warning is concerned, but that is a concern. If nothing else, high winds are for sure going on as that moves into Marshall County.
There's also a report, this is not in our viewing area, but there's a report of someone trapped in a house in Tallahatchie County, Mississippi.
Okay, that is just south of our area, Tallahatchie County. Somebody trapped in a house. Danielle, thank you for that information. You start hearing things like this, and it just elevates it to another level. So we've got damage. We don't have confirmation of a tornado. We've had 2 separate tornado warnings in Shelby County at the same time. It's been a while since I've seen that. And now the threat is in Marshall and also Fayette County. So not out of the woods, but it does look like things in Shelby County are getting better. It does look like the worst is now pulling into Fayette County. So if you're in Germantown, it's okay to come out of your safe spot now. Not really ready to say that yet in Collierville because we've got that. It's a little too close for comfort, but I don't think it will be long. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. There's a report of a funnel cloud at Poplar and Collierville and Arlington Road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's way out east. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is about as east as you can get in Shelby County. Not out of the woods yet. Trevor, what are you tracking over there on the storm relative velocity?
Well, I've been keeping an eye on that Marshall County storm. We have a lot of folks in the Facebook chat asking about Marshall County. By the way, if you want to join in the conversation, you can head over to our Facebook page, ABC24 Memphis. We're checking in with comments and responding there. A lot of folks concerned about Marshall County, and I want to tell you, that if we're not talking about your area, it's not because we don't love you, not because we don't care. It's because we tend to focus on where the highest threat is. And for the last little bit, the highest threat has been in Shelby County in the metro. So right now, there's not a tornado warning for Marshall County. They're watching it carefully. There are some signs of rotation here. This is Red Banks Road at Goodman Road, right before you get to that 72 split, that large area of rotation there. It's just not large enough to prompt a tornado warning. But I do want to give you that heads up. If you are in Marshall County, this is something to look out for. Rossville Road, Copewood Road, Stinson Drive, once you cross the line into Fayette County, and you see our rotation detector really lighting up with indications of rotation basically all the way down from the Tennessee state line, Highway 72, all the way down through Goodman Road and right there along Red Banks Road, even down to 78 and I-22. I know that's hard to see, but that's the road way at the bottom of your screen. If we can maybe lose that lower third for just 2 seconds so I can show you that. This right here is Interstate 22. So this is really to the north of that, moving off to the north and east. And so heads up if you're along Highway 72. No tornado warning right now. It's possible, and damaging winds are definitely a concern.
No doubt about it. Damaging winds that we've already seen. We've heard, look, a semi-trailer was thrown off of I-55 earlier this afternoon because of damaging winds at mile marker 58 on I-55. So, yes, you don't have to have just a tornado warning for it to be bad. We have seen just wind damage from straight line winds cause serious problems. There are reports of damage coming in. Danielle had a report of somebody trapped in Tallahatchie County that officials are trying to get to.
John, this is a new tornado warning for eastern Lafayette, eastern half of Lafayette County. Does not include Oxford, does not include Ole Miss, but that tornado warning is issued for Lafayette County until 6 o'clock. Tornado over Water Valley, which is in the northern portion of Calhoun County, and is moving off to the north.
Let's track it. As a brand new tornado warning has been issued now, as Trevor pointed out, very, very important to point out, it is east of Oxford. So it looks like the University of Mississippi, for right now anyway, you're okay, but this is close enough, we got to watch it. But it does look like the worst of it is to your east. And if I call out your town, and I hope I get this one right, Toccopola, 535. I think a couple years ago I said Toccopola or something like that. So I hope I'm getting it right this time for you guys, but you got to go to your safe spot now. Thaxton, Mississippi at 539, Myrtle, Mississippi at 540, Ecru, a lot of furniture plants around Ecru, Mississippi, 549. New Albany, that's going to be getting up to I-22, Old Highway 78. So this is a brand new tornado warning that is affecting the area. And you see the path. If you're in Myrtle, New Albany, Ecru, Toccopola, you need to be in your safe spot now, and you need to stay there until it's clear. So this is a new warning, a new threat. We'll come back to that. Let's go back to the metro area real quick because I do want to see what's
John,
going on. Yeah.
They're also preparing to possibly issue another tornado warning south of Collierville and Piperton, moving into Fayette County.
Okay, so we've probably got additional tornado warnings coming, as you just heard from Danielle. Germantown, you're okay now. Olive Branch, you're okay. Lewisburg, you're okay. Collierville, don't let your guard down yet. Still not comfortable clearing you completely. Barton, Mississippi is going to be close to this as well. But yes, Danielle said new tornado warning could be coming out. Here's Moscow. Highway 64 is right here. Highway 72 is right here if you're headed toward Pickwick.
I'm going to turn the velocity on for you.
Turn velocity on. Let's do that, and let's, oh my goodness. Okay, so that is, let's.
Oh, here it is. Sorry.
That's okay.
There's a tornado warning. A severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Arlington, or 12 miles northeast of Cordova, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Okay,
so you just heard that information there from Danielle. Let's pixel query these winds. I want to see, like we did earlier, 80 mile an hour winds. 76 mile an hour winds. This is, again, now moving into Fayette County. These are winds that are going to do damage to property and can be life-threatening if you don't take it seriously. So these winds are serious, folks. We've been talking about this. Our team has been talking about this for days, that the winds we're under a high wind warning. That started earlier today. You don't see that for the entire area very often. We are in the peak of severe weather season, so no shock here, but really kind of surprising with the winds. Now, this is the new tornado warning, correct?
It has not populated on our map yet.
All right, so it hasn't populated just yet. But
There it is. There it
okay.
is, the
All right.
5:45.
All right. This goes until 5:45, and it's for the western part of Fayette County. So if you're in Oakland, you must be in your safe spot now, away from windows, first level of your home, building, whatever. Wherever you are, this is pulling east at about 35 miles per hour. And again, Oakland is the highly populated area in this part of the track. This will be going over a lot of rural area, but Whiteville, you are also in the path of this. You need to really think about going to your safe spot soon also, even though technically you're not under a tornado warning. Can we go back to that Clark Tower camera one more time? I just want to see what it looks like. All right, so our camera shifted around a bit, but earlier we had people going through waters that were almost covering Poplar Avenue. And I mean, there is some serious flooding that has occurred in a quick amount of time near Clark Tower on Poplar Avenue.
You want to take a look at this Barron button really quickly because Trevor has some more breaking news coming in.
All right, let's go to the breaking news.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, we told you there was a report of some damage in South Haven. We've got new information on that, and I've kind of zoomed in here. Now, let me get your bearings straight. From South Haven, this is the Kroger store on State Line Road right here. That's the old Kmart. There's Interstate 55, State Line Road. Here is Airways, and you've got that industrial park right there. There we have reports of roofs that have collapsed in those warehouses. And if you were in South Haven in 2008, you remember the February 5th, 2008 tornado. That hit this warehouse and then this warehouse at State Line and Airways. So this is a very similar area. And of course, over here, you've got City Hall right there. This is kind of the warehouse park where we've got that report of damage. Don't know exactly the extent of it, but we do know that emergency services are on the scene. This is all kind of between Rasco, Airways, State Line, and Hamilton in that northwestern portion of the city. But if you normally go through this area, avoid it right now because, again, emergency services are on the scene in South Haven of at least a partial roof collapse in some of those warehouses in the northern portion of town along State Line.
So the damage reports continue to come in. Excellent work, Trevor, getting us that information. You got that information fast to us. So excellent job there. Now we are going back to Fayette County, and we are going to the storm. I like that, Danielle. Drag this just a little bit. Look at this. Tornado index back up to a 6.3 for the storm here in Fayette County. And Danielle is right on the center of this storm where the worst part is, and these are the updated tracks for you. Must go to your safe spot if you hear your town. Rossville at 536, Williston at 549, Oakland at 550, Summerville at 554. You've got to go to your safe spot. Active tornado warning for you. We're here. We're going to get you through it. One other thing I'm noticing, look at the shear. 103 miles per hour. We could have winds, folks, that are 90 to 100 miles an hour in this area,
BTI.
in this location. 6.3, is that right? Is that what I saw on there? That is actually look, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4. This is one of the higher numbers that we've seen today. And speaking of day, it is that time of day, even though there has been a lot of rain. Folks, there's so much wind energy in the atmosphere. The winds are about as strong as you can get as far as going from the ground level all the way up to about 25,000, 30,000 feet. And the winds are moving in different directions. We saw that from our Clark Tower cam, how fast the clouds were moving earlier. That is how fast these winds are. And they're coming down to ground level, and they're causing damage. And we are just now getting information in about damage reports across the area. We're going to get more in as the evening goes along, I'm afraid to say. And look, we're not done with this severe weather outbreak just yet. We still have
There's another tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Slate Springs. We're 20 miles southwest of Houston, maybe.
Yeah,
moving northeast at 60 miles an hour.
There we go, another one. And now this is getting into the area that is even more favorable for tornado development, folks. We're in the middle of a severe weather outbreak right now, and the damage reports are coming in. Oxford, you may have heard sirens where you are, but the worst of it's east of you right now. And Danielle, you were on this one right here. That one, thankfully, that last scan looks a little bit better. But tornado warning for eastern Lafayette County. That is going to go until 6 o'clock. So we've got another 24 minutes of that. As far as Shelby County goes, the worst has passed and is now moving in. Here's that new tornado warning. Danielle was talking about that one. Will you click on that one? Yes. Does that go until 6:30? That one goes 6 o'clock.
As well.
Okay, so what is happening now is these storms are getting stronger, and they're going to be pushing into our counties that we were most concerned about as far as strong tornadoes developing, those ones that actually stay on the ground for a sustained period of time. That's what I'm concerned about now. Over the next couple of hours, that's going to be the hotspot zone, if you will, of where a strong tornado could occur and stay on the ground for quite some time. Memphis and Shelby County, threat has passed. We're for the most part, not completely, but for the most part, in the clear. Let's zoom in here one more time. Just
Lafayette.
Okay. Yes, please. Oakland is under the gun right now. It does look a little bit better than it did just a moment ago, but still Moscow, you're in the threat zone also. The worst has pushed out of Shelby County now. And now we're focusing our attention on North Mississippi. Believe me, we're not forgetting about you, Moscow and Oakland. You need to stay in your safe spot until this tornado warning is expired, which is 7 minutes from now. Remain in your safe spot. We'll let you know when it's clear. But this is concerning here. Now in North Mississippi, east of Holly Springs. This is going to be headed toward Ripley, Bolivar, Corinth, and New Albany. These are the areas that are going to be, even Hardeman and McNairy County, these are the areas that are going to be under the threat of a strong tornado over the next hour. So, Danielle.
We're getting some more local storm reports from Tunica County. A building with a roof torn off, widespread power outages in Tunica. Also, a power pole snapped and an overturned center pivot as well in Tunica County. So a lot of wind damage, it looks like, in Tunica. Also, it looks like they continued the tornado warning for Calhoun, Lafayette, Pontotoc, and Union.
Okay, so the damage reports continue to come in, folks.
And there's shear marker here for Pontotoc.
Safe to say we're under a severe weather outbreak right now, and a severe weather outbreak has occurred today in the Mid-South and is not over yet. Let me go over these towns again. If you hear your town, got to be in your safe spot. Toccopola at 541, Thaxton 545, Ecru at 553, New Albany 601, and Myrtle at 602. Again, the tornado index, that number is still very high at a 6.4 scale. Look at that too. The amount of rotation here headed right up toward Toccopola, Ecru, Myrtle, Mississippi. I mean, this storm is concerning to me, and I don't think it's going to lose its punch. I hope it does, but look, ingredients are still very ripe for further development of that storm. The damage reports are coming in. They really have started to come in here in the last hour or so. And look.
There's a new tornado warning.
Okay.
But it is north of Sladen or 15 miles east of Collierville, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour.
All right, so let's slide north. Okay, I see it.
It's right in here.
Okay, let's zoom into that, Danielle, and put a track.
Yeah, look at that shear
it's pretty
there.
nasty looking. Yeah. Williston, I can already tell you, Somerville, you need to go to your safe spot. Grand Junction, Tennessee. Danielle is drawing a track out right now of the areas that are going to be involved with this cell. A lot of it over rural areas, but if you, all right, there we go. Williston at 544, Somerville at 548. Got to go to your safe spot. Whiteville, we mentioned you at 602. That is when the storm is going to be over your area. Vildo at 607. Again, This is a nasty looking storm headed toward Whiteville, Somerville, Williston, and also Grand Junction as well. We've been talking about you. The worst is moving through Moscow right now. I expect damage reports to come in from there. And also as you can further travel east. We're probably, I would say, over the next hour to hour and a half, going to be in the worst of this situation.
This
before
severe
sunset.
thunderstorm warning is also a little bit new. The polygon now includes Shelby and Tipton County once again for the severe thunderstorm warning.
Good catch. Very good catch. We're going to continue to keep an eye on that. What's happening is basically the wind damage threat is not over. The way these storms are curling around, there still is the potential for some wind damage in northeast Shelby County, specifically Rosemark. But good to point out there, Danielle, this is a nasty one. That one, this tornado warning over Fayette County right now, and this one is extremely nasty. That is just east of Oxford, moving north. We have had sustained now rotation on our radar. You see the shear marker indicating the strong rotation or a potential tornado. Guys, one thing, what about a shear path? That might be something to look at also, because sometimes that can let us know where a tornado has touched down or some of the paths. And yeah, this is what we call our rotation tracker. And sometimes you can pick up where a storm has produced a tornado and just the track before. This is nothing official. This is just radar, radar information. There will be teams that will be out tomorrow from the National Weather Service surveying all this damage to figure out exactly what occurred. Regardless if there is a tornado that has touched down or not, I suspect there has been somewhere. Damage reports continue to come in. And this is the nastiest storm right here.
It's a 7.
7. This is the highest we've seen all day, folks. Tornado index number now up to a 7. This is a serious storm. And if you are in these towns, we are telling you to go to your safe spot now and stay away from windows. Stay in the most interior part of wherever you are, away from windows on the lowest part of the building, the home that you're in. I will say this is important too. Look, if you're in a mobile home in Myrtle or New Albany, get out now and go to a sturdy shelter. Because with this being a 7, tornado number being a 7 now, the highest we've seen all day, you got to get out of a mobile home if you live in these areas. Saltillo, New Albany, Myrtle, you still have time. 6:04 for you guys, Myrtle, but not a lot. You've got to go now if you know where to go, if there's a sturdy place. I know there are a lot of mobile homes in this area, so we're trying to protect you and get you life-saving information to protect you and your family. But this is probably the nastiest, at least on radar anyway, that we've seen today. And this could be a tornado on the ground. Again, no confirmation, but I would not be surprised at all looking at these numbers. So please go to your safe spot. Again, active tornado warning for all of those counties. This is going to be east of Oxford, again, pulling northeast. The worst of this outbreak probably over the next hour, I would say, and we'll continue to learn.
That right there.
That's, folks, this is nasty. This is likely a tornado on the ground. I don't have confirmation, but just looking at our radar signature, all the data we have, all the tools we have here that we use at this television station, this is likely a tornado on the ground over Thaxton, Mississippi. So we need to assume that there is one on the ground. It has pulled north now of Toccopola, and unfortunately, these are the ones that I've been most concerned about, the ones that may stay on the ground for a sustained period of time. Even past sunset is possible. This is likely a tornado on the ground, and it is a really, really strong signature, a textbook look, if you will, of a strong tornado that could be on the ground north of Thaxton, Mississippi, headed northeast. New Albany would be in the path. And Danielle, is Blue Mountain. There's been explosive growth here in Blue Mountain, Mississippi, with the car plant. New Albany at 557, Blue Mountain. Dumas, unfortunately, it seems like every event I have to call your name. You're in the path. You need to take shelter now. And Ripley, Mississippi, got to take shelter now. Get out of a mobile home. If you're in Ripley, you have time to do so. Get to a sturdy structure. Your home is not going to survive a storm of this magnitude, of this strength. So listen to us. And like I said, the tornado index, Trevor, up to a 7. The highest we've seen all day, likely a tornado on the ground, even though we don't have confirmation.
Yeah, very well could be. I want to do a couple of things here. I want to start out with kind of a wide view because a lot of folks are asking, what about Memphis now? What about Tipton County? I want to tell you that, number one, if we're not talking about your town, that's good news. That means there's probably nothing happening there. We focus on where the action is. It doesn't mean we're forgetting about you. We're just focusing on where the action is. I want to show you radar right now because eastern Arkansas is all cleared out. They're looking pretty good. There could be some showers later on tonight, but for the most part, eastern Arkansas is clear. I drew a line here. You can kind of see it. Basically goes right along Highway 51 down into northern Mississippi. If you are west of this line, we can give you the all clear for severe weather. That includes Memphis, DeSoto County, the Delta, all of eastern Arkansas, Tipton County, Lafayette County, Dyersburg. You are done with severe weather for the day. You could have a little bit more rain, but the worst of it is over. Now, if you're east of this line, that's where we've got all the action at. We've got several tornado warnings in effect. One of those is for Fayette and Hardeman counties, eastern Lafayette County. And if you're not in the tornado warning, you're in the severe thunderstorm warning. Everybody basically is, which is where we have damaging wind gusts in addition to the potential of a tornado. So if you are under that tornado warning, I want to remind you to go to an interior room on the lowest floor. I'll show you a map of that in just a little bit. Go ahead and put your shoes on, cover your head if you can. The kids' bicycle helmets are great for that because most injuries from a tornado are to your head, most important part of your body, right? And if you are in a car driving around or in a mobile home, you need to find another place to go. Now, as far as if you are at home right now, we want you on the lowest floor. Even if you're in an apartment, you got to go downstairs, meet your neighbor, or go to the leasing office, something like that. Find an interior room on the centermost portion of your home and stay away from windows. Stay there until we give you the all clear. Now, we told you a little bit ago we had a report of damage in South Haven, State Line, and Airways. A roof has collapsed on a warehouse. Again, this was the same area, same warehouse park actually hit by the tornado in 2008. If you've been around long enough to remember that, I sure do. I was in South Haven at the time. And you can see it's almost like a can opener kind of peeled off the roof of that building. That's why we tell you, you never want to be in one of those buildings with the wide span roof because it's so easy for that to peel off. But again, damage down there in South Haven at the warehouse park. And if we come back to the map, I can remind you of where that is. Again, here's State Line Road. There's the Kroger store on State Line. You've got the Waffle House and the hotels there. This is just to the south of that. So as you're going down Airways from State Line toward Rasco, you see that warehouse park on the right side. That's where this is. A roof collapse, roof blown off, whatever you want to call it, at one of these warehouses on Airport Industrial Drive. And we do have a crew on the scene. We have a photojournalist there getting reports and information. Of course, we'll bring the latest to you as soon as this severe weather event is over. Danielle.
All right, Trevor, I wanted to go back to this storm that we are tracking. I know many people might be thinking, well, it's in Thaxton and that's not in our viewing area. But if you take a look at the track, this is the important thing about tracking these things. It could come into our viewing area. It's on the way to Ripley and Blue Mountain. So you guys need to go ahead and get into your safe space. There's not a tornado warning for that area right now, but that storm is headed there. I'm turning it so you can see it on the side. There you go. This is a look at our shear rotation there. Definitely could be something. Right. The number is now at a 7.2. It was at a 7. So this storm is growing in intensity. It is very important right now to go ahead and get into your safe place. If you are in New Albany, Blue Mountain, Dumas, Ripley, go ahead and get there now. If you're looking at the screen, you're like, okay, I see that. I need to go ahead. If you know anyone in that area, call them. Try to send them a text message, whatever you need to do, because this storm is definitely headed that way. There are a number of tornado warnings right now, but this one, we are definitely seeing some shear. It's been there for a while now, and we're definitely keeping our eye on this. Right now, it says it's moving about northeast at 65 miles an hour. I'm going to turn on the Barron button there. Oh, yeah, there we go. That is our Barron button. This is something that puts all the things that we're looking, all the ingredients that we're looking for a strong possible tornado, and it's really telling us that the ingredients are there. It does not mean that there is a confirmed tornado, but the ingredients, the atmosphere is unstable. This is what we're looking at this very time out of all of the 3 tornado warnings. If I clear some of this stuff off here, you can see that there are other tornado warnings, but we're not looking at as much activity with the Barron button as the shear marker and things like that. This storm is definitely something that we need to keep our eye on, John.
No doubt about it. And, you know, one thing I noticed as you were tracking that also, the shear path, or in other words, we take a look at the rotation. You go back in history and you see the history of the rotation. That was a strong signature to me that a tornado is or was on the ground. But no doubt about it, Danielle, this is a mean one right here. With our tornado index being as high as it is, this is also in an environment favorable.
This is another tornado warning.
Okay.
They continued the tornado warning for Fayette and Hardeman. A severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Somerville or 17 miles west of Bolivar, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour.
All right, let's go up there. And, you know, here's part of the problem. Like I said, there's so much rain that these tornadoes could be rain wrapped and hard to see. That's why we can't get you better confirmation. But look at this.
The path of this.
I would be shocked if there was not a tornado with this path as it is. Again, our rotation tracker showing the path, and when you see that, oftentimes it is. Look, it's not confirmed. It won't be confirmed for complete certainty until tomorrow when they get survey crews up and out there. But from some of the damage that Trevor was showing in that video, something went on.
There's been, I got another report of a roof torn off a mobile home along with tree damage in Dias. A pivot flipped over and siding ripped off the side of the house. This is all in Mississippi County, Arkansas.
Mississippi County, Arkansas. That's where the day began with our tornado warnings. We had 2 tornado warnings that went through, that were Osceola. You were under 2 tornado warnings. Let's go back. Actually, Danielle, will you put, ooh, wow. That's nasty, folks. This signature right here, southeast of Somerville. This is going to be headed toward Whiteville. This very well could be a tornado on the ground. It's a pretty good signature, tight couplet that we call it. Won't get too detailed, but it's a bright green up against a bright red. And yeah, the rotation tracker, there's probably a tornado in there, and it is headed toward Whiteville. If you live in Whiteville, you need to be in your safe spot. Go there, stay there, away from windows. Again, we're trying to provide you with life-saving information. We're not trying to scare you unnecessarily or panic you because things are just not going to work out if you panic. But if you just listen to us, you'll be okay. You're going to be okay. Just go to your safe spot and stay there until you can come out. We'll let you know. But from all the stuff that we're looking at, and by the way, Somerville, it looks like the worst is just now east of you, headed toward Whiteville. And even the southern part north of Grand Junction is still healthy. Bolivar, you would be in the path of that if this storm holds together. Again, active tornado warning with this storm, could well be a tornado on the ground. And we've got another one in North Mississippi, another tornado warning that is occurring. We believe a tornado is on the ground. And also it could be one of those tornadoes that could have a long track on it and stay on the ground for a significant amount of time and do significant damage. This tornado warning right here is for Fayette County into Hardeman County. And this is, look, zoom into that, Danielle, if you don't mind. That is a really, really nasty signature on the radar. Newcastle right here. So just west of the Newcastle area, southeast of Somerville, pulling to the northeast. Trevor.
Tornado warning has actually been issued for Tippah County now. Danielle was seconds ago talking about how that area was out of our official coverage area down in Pontotoc County, but it was coming toward Blue Mountain. And we were the first ones to give you that heads up for Tippah County because as it continued to move off to the northeast, it could be a concern for Ripley and Blue Mountain. And there you see that tornado warning. Again, that it is for Tippah County until 6:30.
6:30. So this is the nasty one we've been talking about. Again, Danielle has been all over this storm right here. There very well could be and likely is a tornado on the ground. And this is moving to the east, northeast. Again, we're trying to give you the most precise, accurate information possible to protect you and keep you safe. Look at our tornado index, a 7.3. That's the highest that number has been all day. We are confident a tornado is on the ground and moving toward these areas. Myrtle at 5:57, got to go to your safe spot now. Blue Mountain at 6:05, about 10 minutes for you guys. Ripley at 6:10, Ripley, Mississippi, not Ripley, Tennessee. Faulkner, Mississippi at 6:16, so a little bit of lead time. If you can get to a place outside of your mobile home in about 5 minutes, do so because tornado could be on the ground. Let's go to Danielle.
Alrighty, John, we are getting, a live look in a few seconds of that roof collapse in South Haven that Trevor has been telling you about. We have a photojournalist that's there right now with a live view of that. We can go ahead and take that view of what's happening in South Haven. That is the Clarkdale camera there. But that roof did collapse. There we go. That is a live view there at the warehouse in South Haven where that roof did collapse. You can see there are emergency vehicles on the scene. It looks like they have the entrance completely blocked off at this time. That looks like a trucking company, but we can't confirm that right now. But the emergency personnel are on the scene right now. The roof did collapse. We've been seeing a number of reports coming in from South Haven. So if you know anyone who works there, definitely send them a text message, make sure they're okay. But obviously the emergency personnel have things blocked off. We don't encourage you to go there. Do not go there. Allow the emergency people to do what they need to do to get everyone into safety. And you never know what you could run into on the way there as well, because like we're saying, there's a number of tornado warnings right now. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, there's a lot of stuff over there. There's about 5 or 6 warehouses, anywhere from trucking companies to anybody that does distribution. So I can't tell exactly what that is, but it's in that warehouse park between State Line and Airways and Rasco, kind of on the western side of Airways, just north of the Baptist Memorial Hospital. So just to get your bearings straight, that is about where that is. But yeah, obviously some damage being reported with these storms down in South Haven. And
the crazy thing is, like you said, Trevor, these are some of the same areas that were hit by the tornado on Super Tuesday back on February 5th, 2008. So very reminiscent there. Now we have to go back to the active part of our weather. We will definitely be covering the damage and have all reports for you. Our news team will be getting that information out to you once we have it all. But we still have an active tornado outbreak ongoing in the Mid-South right now. And Ripley, Mississippi, you are in the path of a possible tornado, and you need to go to your safe spot now. You need to stay there and not come out until we tell you it's okay. New Albany, this could be one of those tornadoes that has been on the ground for a while, and it's one that may stay on the ground also for a while as it pulls northeast. Again, Ripley under a tornado warning. This will be moving toward Boonville. And look, if it holds together, this may try to curl up to Corinth. If not Corinth, Alcorn County could be affected by this. This is now moving into our eastern parts, our most eastern parts of the coverage area. Conditions are getting better in Arkansas, already have. Trevor drew that line earlier of the people who were still under the gun and people who are not anymore. These are the areas where it's not safe. Danielle, can we slide that north?
Yes, I'm sorry. They just issued another severe thunderstorm warning for Alcorn, Benton, Prentiss, Tippah, Union, as well as Hardeman and McNairy counties until 6:45.
Well, I would say the good news is that it's a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah.
Believe me, on a day like today, we love giving you good news. Here's another piece of good news. So far, anyway, I have not heard any reports of injuries, not in our immediate coverage.
I have good news about that. The South Haven Police Department says that everyone has gotten out of that warehouse safely. So everyone is accounted for.
All right, we're getting some good news in here, which is we love hearing on a day like today. And that certainly is some good news, some breaking news to know about there. Not out of the woods, though, because sometimes these long track tornadoes, they come through about this time. And so our easternmost counties are not out of the woods. Alcorn County, Tippah County, Benton County, also Hardeman and McNairy County. You're not out of the woods yet. But good news to report. I would be curious to see how many power outages we have. We haven't talked about that in a while in Shelby County. There are power outages all over Crittenden County. We know that. And I'm sure there's power outages here in North Mississippi
While
as well.
we wait for that, I have other good news. The National Weather Service, they are planning on trimming back some more of the tornado watch places, especially near the Mississippi River, because if we take a look here at the radar, most of northeast Arkansas is in the clear at this time. You can see all of the rain is gone. Here, I'll draw a line there for you. All of this area is definitely in the clear there, but we are definitely monitoring everything to the east of that. Just like we were saying earlier, Bolivar, Corinth, we saw this coming. That's one thing about tracking severe weather is that you can kind of pinpoint where you need to prepare people ahead of time. So some of these storms, just like we were saying, even though like this one is not in our viewing area just yet, it is definitely headed that way.
Okay, so I was just listening, power outages map, but we can't see it. Anyway, we're working on it. 5,800, 99 outages. Okay, I figured it'd be worse. That's good. That's good. Look, we're bringing you good news over the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Yes.
We like
Glass
to
half full.
Yes. It's the first time today we've really been able for a sustained period of time to tell you things are getting better. Now, that is not everywhere in our coverage area, but it is in a lot of places. The power outage numbers in Shelby County, you got about roughly 6,000 customers, so probably about 15,000 people at least without power. And it does look like that Collierville outage is still an issue. That's been going on a good bit of the day. Unfortunately, but not surprisingly, inside the 240 loop, there are numerous outages in the Midtown area, perhaps, and also east of Crosstown. It looks like there are significant power outages there along Sam Cooper, Poplar, Walnut Grove, some power outages. So believe me, they'll be doing as much as possible to get your lights back on. If you're watching us on the app online, but probably you won't have everybody get power back tonight, but at least those numbers aren't as high as, really, to be honest with you, I figured they might be. Trevor?
John, I went ahead and pulled up the energy map for northern Mississippi, and we've got some outages down here as well, right over South Haven. I know this one's kind of hard to see. They actually show this one by the power lines that are out there. So if you just want to take this full, that might give us a better idea of where these outages are, and we can kind of zoom in on some of the street level viewing of what is going on. I can tell you there are a lot of outages in South Haven right now.
Trevor, that's a tornado warning. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please. Where's
there's
that
a
for?
tornado warning for Chester, Crockett, Fayette, Hardeman, Haywood, and Madison counties.
Okay.
It's a severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Whiteville or 11 miles northwest of Bolivar, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour.
All right, so that's going to be continuing on that northern end of that line. If we want to put radar up, we'll switch to that. We'll come back to the power outages in just a little bit because obviously tornado warning, new tornado warning is our biggest concern. So this is going to be up there. As you can see, I don't think the new warning has been issued just yet.
The new polygon hasn't come out
But
yet.
it's going to be likely up to the north a little bit, probably a little closer to Jackson and Madison County, and we already heard Chester County. So that's going to get Henderson County involved, and then northern Hardeman County as far as where that is going to be. Again, we're waiting on that to continue. I can tell you this, for the most part, with the exception of the far northeastern corner, most of Fayette County is fine. I think Somerville, you're fine to come out of your safe place. Oakland, you're fine to come out of your safe place. It's that little area north of Whiteville that is still showing some concern. And there's the new tornado warning. So that's going to include Hardeman, does not include Brownsville, does not include Bolivar, but it's more kind of right in between there. Again, that's just to the north of Whiteville. Yeah, there it is. So if you want to throw a track on that, John, I'll throw things back to you and we can kind of walk that out because that area is still causing some problems for us.
No doubt about it. That's a nasty signature also that is over the Whiteville area. We're certainly hopeful that this is not a tornado on the ground, but it could be, and it could be, this could end up being a large one because that area of rotation is wide and strong, not just wide, but also strong. So this is something that is serious, and we need you to go to your safe spot if you are in any of these towns I'm about to call out, and times. Vildo at 612, Denmark at 625. Jackson, you're obviously no stranger to tornadoes, 641. Three-way at 650, Humboldt at 651, Medina at 655, and Gibson all at 6. Well, that's going to be 658. So you look, you've got lead time if you are in any of these towns, except for really Vildo, you've only got about 6 minutes. But if you're in Denmark, Jackson, Three-way, Humboldt, Medina, or Gibson, you have time if you live in a mobile home to get out and to head to a sturdy structure because mobile homes just really don't have much of a chance of surviving a tornado. So you do have lead time. This is our most important job. That's why we're here, to keep you safe, to protect you, to give you lead time when there is a real threat so you can get out of harm's way. And that's what we're doing here, tornado. Gosh, guys, I don't know how many tornado warnings we've had today, but it certainly will go down in my mind as an outbreak. And if we can just get through it without any strong ones touching down. So far, no injuries. That is good news to report. But look, we're not out of the woods yet. All it takes is one powerful tornado to go through one area of town. So we're not out of the woods for our entire area just yet. It's really the extreme eastern parts. There's Vildo right there. If there is a tornado, it's right on top of you, headed toward Denmark. Here's Jackson, Tennessee, right here. So Jackson is in the path, three-way. And look, any of this could tornado at any point, just because Bolivar, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning now, but it does look like the worst of the rotation is now east of you, so that is good. And let's slide back down south because we can't forget about the other tornado warned areas in our southern counties. Been hard to keep up with everybody today all at one time, but that's what we're doing. Let's come back down south, and I am interested to see what our tornado number is on this now. Still high. Still hanging up there to 7.3, about the highest it's been all day. And Dumas, you're in the path of this, 613, so you don't have a lot of time. Corinth, you've got more time, 636. But you are in the path, and this will be moving into McNairy County as well, and perhaps affecting Selmer. Selmer, right now, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but that's nasty right there. It's the southwest of... Okay. These are nasty areas of rotation, southwest of Dumas, where a potential tornado is right there. That is moving northeast, as most of this activity today has been north and east. So you need to be in your safe spot, Dumas. I believe this rotation... I'm going to
zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, please do, sure. I believe if it holds course, and that's actually a better scan, that latest scan looks a little bit better to me. In other words, not as bad. I believe if this holds course, it may stay just to the south and east of Ripley, Mississippi. Unless the direction changes, which it can, it looks like the path is going to be just to your south and east. We'll let you know if it changes further, but certainly not out of the woods. But I will say this, on this last scan or two, it looks to be a better sign. And maybe the threat is coming down. I want to get that tornado number down. 7.3 is just way too high to feel comfortable about a situation. But now it is quite a ways away from the radar site. But look, still an active tornado warning, and we must take that very seriously. Obviously, stay in your safe spot. If you're in Tippah County, especially Dumas, Ripley, it's too close for comfort for you, even though I believe the worst of it stays south and east. You've got something new?
Speaking of Ripley, yes, they continue the tornado warning for Prentice, Tippah, and Union until 6:30. It says that a severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located near Canoeville, or 11 miles southeast of Ripley.
Okay, I don't know. That's new to me too.
I can't.
Heard of most of them, but not that one. So yes, that's what they're talking about. That's what Danielle's talking about here. And of course, this is still an area of concern right here north of Bolivar, headed toward Jackson. We're still concerned about a potential tornado headed toward you guys. You are under a tornado warning. Some good news to pass along.
Yeah.
That I see in my periphery. Trevor,
Yes, very good
will you
news.
give us some good news?
Yeah, we love to keep giving you the good news in between the bad news, right? So the good news is, I told you, I drew that line a little bit ago and gave you the all clear. Now we can just kind of set it in because the tornado watch has been canceled for Memphis, Shelby County, and all of the immediate metro area. So if your county is in kind of that whitish color where you just see the map, you are done with severe weather for the night. And that is basically everybody. There could be a little rain later on, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, maybe even a little thunder, but all in all, the severe weather threat is done. Here's who it continues for: Haywood County, Crockett County, Madison, Hardeman, McNary, Benton, and Tippah, as well as Alcorn County. And that's where that line of storms continues to be. And you see these red boxes here, those are those tornado warnings that continue. That's going to include part of Haywood County, not Brownsville, part of Hardeman County, not Bolivar, and then up to Jackson. And we've also got that tornado warning that includes Ripley. So if you find yourself in one of those red boxes, go to that interior room on the lowest floor, go ahead and put your shoes on, do something to cover your head. If you're in a car or a mobile home in those areas, you got to find a better place to be. But most of you are probably at home right now. So if you're under a tornado warning, we want you on the first floor in an interior room away from windows. We don't want you on the outside of the walls. We want you as close to the inside of the home as possible. Usually that is a bathroom or a closet. Stay away from windows and stay there until the threats end. I can tell you that essentially I would think within the next, 45 minutes, we'd be able to give the all clear for everybody else, but we could at least right now give the all clear for Memphis, Shelby County, and the whole metro.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm with you. I think over the next hour, we'll see threats start to wind down. You're looking now at a TDOT Smart Way camera, Canada Road. That's good. Like we said, the weather has been improving, traffic picking up. You still want to go slow tonight, don't get me wrong, as the streets are still wet. So as you get out tonight, just be careful. It has been a busy weather day and afternoon in the Mid-South. And unlike previous events, rain did not really, well, maybe it did help us out just a tiny bit. But unlike previous events, we didn't have much rain overnight or this morning to stabilize the atmosphere. Let's focus back in on these active tornado warnings because we're not done yet. So I want to make sure all of our viewers under a tornado warning are covered and that we provide you with potential life-saving information. Danielle, can we zoom back down into the Ripley storm right here? Like I said, we're getting a ways away from the radar, so the data is going to be a little bit more skewed. But this rotation is south and east of Ripley, moving north. It looks like it's just past Dumas now. Still seeing some cloud-to-ground lightning, so that lets me know that there's still energy. And believe me, there's still wind dynamics here that the atmosphere is working in. So anytime you see that yellow lightning strike, the positive strike, the strikes that go from the cloud to the ground, that means the storm is not dead yet. And this is still, even though it's broader, it's still a large area of rotation. Even though it's not as strong, look, this storm is still rotating and could put a tornado down at any point. And that's why this tornado warning continues. Will you click on that box one more time, please, Danielle? Just wanted to update everybody on the timing of that warning. That goes until 6:45. Again, this could be extended a little bit farther north. So that is something that we're watching for, that possibility. But the storm is not dead yet because you can see the rotation right over Dumas now and pushing north. Why don't we do this? Just give everybody a reset, just a regular radar, our normal 300-mile view. That's a nasty core there east of Ripley. But just give everybody an overview. I know sometimes we can look, like Trevor said, we're not trying to ignore anybody. If we're not focused in on your area, that's probably a good thing. But I did want to give everybody an overview of what's going on. Arkansas, Finally, right? Much better news and information there. The Mississippi Delta, things are improving. By the way, it is going to be turning cooler tonight. Got really warm today. You'll need your coat in the morning. Not bitterly cold, but cooler. So know that. This is the time of year where the cold air and the warm air, they fight it out. And this is traditionally the peak of our severe weather season. Another 3 weeks or so, I would say, and then it peaks out. So we're in the middle of it. I take that back. But the worst of the weather is right here in a line from west of Tupelo up to Jackson. It's going to continue to push east, and it may actually pick up some speed. And I also agree that I think the severe weather is going to be out and over of our area by 7:15. If it's not 7:15, it's not going to be much past then. And it could even be a little bit before then. So for another hour in our eastern counties, we could still have additional warnings. And there could still be tornadoes that develop and form in Benton County, Alcorn County, McNairy County. You're still in play.
I have kind of good news and kind of bad news.
Okay.
So
Bring it to us.
They canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Benton County, like you were saying, but they continued the severe thunderstorm warning for Tippah, Alcorn, Prentiss, Union, Chester, Hardeman, and McNairy until 6:45. There is some radar indicated hail, but it's only about 1/4 of an inch. So it's not anything super severe, but any kind of hail could be damaging outside. But these are definitely something that we are monitoring. There's also multiple storm reports coming in as well. This is a tornado warning continued. They canceled the one for Fayette, Tennessee. They continued the tornado warning for Chester, Crockett, Hardeman, Haywood, and Madison, Tennessee until 6:30. A severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was located over Mercer, or 11 miles west of Chickasaw State Forest, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So if you're in that area, you definitely need to take your safe space right now. I'm about to draw a track out there for you, John, as soon as the polygon pops up for you.
All right, so we'll get a new track for you at ASAP. And again, still serious situation for all of those involved in these warnings, and a scary situation. And that's why we're here to make sure that you don't panic. No need to panic. Remain calm and just listen to what we say, and you're going to be okay. Here's Corinth right here. Yeah, that's what I was interested in, that skit there. And there we go. Here's your updated track on this storm right here, Corinth at 6:41. And look, that's why really I think it's going to be an hour at most, because this is about our easternmost fringe of our coverage area. Raymer, which is in Tennessee, at 6:45, and that's one of the extreme eastern parts of our coverage area as well. Guys, at 6:45, again, tornado warning for Tippah County until 6:30. Here's why we cannot let our guard down. The tornado index number is still holding at a 7.2. Again, one of the higher numbers that we've seen today. We've had a lot of these storms in North Mississippi have had tornado numbers over a 7. This is where the most volatile part of the atmosphere is today. And so it's really no surprise that it's over a 7 in these areas. But hopefully we can get that number to come down within the next half hour or so. In the meantime, we cannot let our guard down. So if you're in any of these areas, you're in the path of a storm that could produce a tornado. We said Raymer at 6:39, Eastview at 6:41. This is always a tough one. Mickey at 6:44. I hope I don't get that one wrong. Selmer at 6:46. Danielle?
Okay, so we're going to take another live look. This is in South Haven. This is another look at that warehouse collapse. We do have a photographer on the scene right now. You can see that roof has collapsed, definitely confirmed. The good news from this, we did get confirmed from South Haven Police that everyone that was working in that warehouse is accounted for. So that's good news there. However, you can see that is definitely a scary situation there. There you go. There's a live look there. The roof collapse, once again, of a warehouse in South Haven, Mississippi. This is from earlier this afternoon. That is some significant damage there. I mean, we have had numerous reports all across the Mid-South today, from the semi-trailer being blown off the highway on I-55 to this roof collapse to trees and power lines snapping to all kinds of just devastating damage so far. And we haven't had a confirmed tornado yet, but we've heard of a few reports of funnel clouds. We've been tracking these. We've been seeing some shear paths, so that doesn't mean that there hasn't been a tornado touchdown. You know, maybe it's in an unpopulated area, maybe it's in farmland, wherever it is, but these storms are definitely packing a powerful punch right now. We're going to toss it over to Trevor right now. He's got some more information for you right now.
Yeah, Danielle, two things. First of all, I'm going to give you a wider view and show you where that line of storms is. Now coming into Jackson, about to be over near Selmer and McNairy County, heads up Corinth, you're up next. But for the most part, we are getting well to the edge of our area. And after a little bit, this will be into Alabama and it will be out of our hair. Two other things. This is outside of our area, but it concerns a lot of people. Starkville and Mississippi State University now included in a tornado warning, a really nasty storm coming right into Oktibbeha County. So I know we've got a lot of folks around here that have kids at Mississippi State and connections to state. So I did want to tell you about that. Tornado warning is currently in effect for Mississippi State University in Starkville, as well as Tupelo. A lot of folks have connections to Tupelo. Tornado warning continues there. The only tornado warnings we have here are for Ripley and then also in the extreme eastern corner of Haywood County and in Hardeman County. One more thing, I want to tell you this. Look way off to the east. We've got another little line of storms trying to form. A couple of models and solutions were showing this. Luckily, that is not going to be severe, but as we go through the evening, there could be a little bit more rain, maybe a little bit more thunder, but the worst of it is coming to an end. And I think even that will start to dissipate as it gets a little bit closer to Memphis. But I didn't want you to be surprised if you see a little bit more rain closer to 9 or 10 o'clock before that finally dies out. But again, the severe weather threat basically over. We've just got a couple of more areas for this to get through. That includes Corinth, that includes Selmer, that includes Ripley. And once it's out of there, we can give the all clear for everybody, but definitely the all clear for Memphis Metro.
Yes, thank goodness. And you know what, you're right. Those models were showing that line for a couple of days now back in Arkansas, so don't be surprised, as Trevor said, with a quick wind burst later tonight in Memphis, but should not be severe. This is what we're most concerned about right now. Tippah County, Alcorn County, brand new track. Have some good information to pass along. First thing that popped up is our tornado index, now down to a 4.2. Does that mean the threat is over? No, but it's always good to see numbers trend in the right direction. And that's the first time in a while that number has been below a 7. So good news there. Jumpertown, you're in the path of this 647. Believe me, I want you to still take this seriously, not trying to undermine this tornado warning, but we do like to point out trends when they're good. Boonville at 640, Rienzi at 646, still a dangerous situation, and there could be a tornado in here embedded with the line. Part of the problem today in getting any confirmation is the fact that almost all of these have been rain wrapped. And so you're not going to get as good of reporting as we would normally get when you can see a tornado that is not raining where you are and you can see it back to the west. It's much easier to have reports and confirmations there. But you've heard about the damage reports. Thankfully, nobody so far, no injuries. Love seeing that. Also, Trevor was talking about this edge right here. That's a large severe thunderstorm warning. So I don't know if they're going to extend this or not further northward into Alcorn County or Tippah County. But it is good to see a large area under a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning. Now, there still could be wind gusts. In fact, there are that could do damage to property and look, are life-threatening if you try to go outside and drive in this stuff. That is one thing we've been saying all day not to do. So wait until this line passes, but there it is right there. That is the worst of the weather now moving into our extreme eastern counties, McNairy County, Benton County, also Alcorn County as well. But that is the only tornado warning right now, but still an active tornado warning. Obviously, we're going to be here as long as there is an active tornado warning. It has been a heck of a day, I'll tell you that much.
There's a new severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll, Chester, Crockett, Gibson, Hardeman, Haywood, Henderson, and Madison until 7 o'clock tonight. Possible 60-mile-an-hour radar indicated wind.
Well, you know, again, good news that it is a severe thunderstorm warning. I can tell you this, Corinth, you're about to have some high wind. Even though right now you're not under a tornado warning, winds could be gusting up to 60, 70 miles per hour as this pulls into our easternmost fringes of our ABC 24 and CW 30 coverage area. Here is a new track that Danielle has put up. Guys at 628. Corinth here, I mean, really in about 7 minutes or so. Stantonville, that's in Tennessee, on the Tennessee side at 634. Farmington at 637. Crump, 640. Savannah at 644. And actually, Savannah, that is outside our coverage area. So, I mean, we're really talking probably another 20 to 30 minutes at most with the threat for severe weather in our far eastern counties. We're not done yet. And obviously, with an active tornado warning, we're going to remain with you as long as that is active. But for our production team and people in the booth, it's probably not going to be that much longer. It is still possible that a tornado warning is issued if this is extended or shows signs of further rotation as the worst of this cell is about to move out of the warning. But now they replace this warning right here, correct me if I'm wrong, with this huge severe thunderstorm warning. Is that
right? Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So at least for right now, anyway, they may not extend that. But I can tell you, there's still circulations going on here. And look, that bright green and that bright red is still sticks out like a sore thumb. It is a long ways away from the radar site. Columbus probably even be a better view. But you can see that we're not done yet. Corinth, the threat is not over. In fact, high winds likely about to pick up at Highway 45 and Highway 72. This is going to be near Pickwick, too. I know a lot of people in Pickwick can see us and do watch us. So high winds are going to be affecting your area shortly, if they not already are. And your threat isn't over yet. So we're watching out for you. But in the not too distant future, severe weather is going to be out of our area after a long day, a day where we were under a level 4 risk, a moderate risk, which happens in the spring here, but it doesn't happen often, but certainly in late March and April, not surprising. And actually over the next 3 weeks, we'll continue to be in a pattern where, you know, every 5 to 7 days, there's going to be a legitimate threat of severe weather. Or could be anyway, and even into early May, but your big strong tornadoes tend to occur from now up until about late April, and then in May you get into big giant thunderstorms, but the strong tornadoes are less likely. Still, a tornado warning continuing for Haywood County until 6:30. That will be expiring in 2 minutes or so, and we still have this tornado warning as well. That one is also until 6:30. So if both of these warnings expire and there's no active warning in our coverage area at 6:30, we'll wrap it up and go off the air. Heads up, booth. But if there is still active tornado warnings, we're going to stay right here on the air. And as a matter of fact, we actually may stay on too until this completely clears Corinth. But tornado warnings are hopefully going to expire here in another couple of minutes. So not just yet, not until I give the all clear, we're going to remain on the air. But we're getting closer to things moving out of the area, as this has been an extended event and a day that there's been a lot of damage that we haven't even reported yet about. You definitely want to check out our broadcast tonight. Of course, if you are watching on CW 30, we'll be on from 9 to 10. And for our ABC viewers, we are on from 10 to 10:35. We will have comprehensive coverage of what has occurred today, information you need to know about power outages and whatnot. Danielle?
Yeah, since you were talking about local storm reports, I'll put those back up on the map there. If we could take links 1 as well as my box. We've been getting numerous reports coming in. We just got a new one, that storm that moved through Collierville. There was a large tree down on power lines laying across the road at East Holmes Road and Byhalia Road. Utilities are affected. So if you live in that area, go ahead and anticipate power outages for a while, because that means that the power lines are down. There's a tree down on top of those power lines, so that could take a few moments to at least work through. Also, there's been a report a little bit outside of our viewing area, but the Jackson General Hospital visitors are being moved to the lower floor because they don't have power there. There's tons of power outages still. And we take a look at the radar here. There's been a few funnel clouds being reported, numerous trees and branches down on cars, roofs being collapsed at the warehouse. This is a look there at what happened in South Avon. Let's not forget about that semi-trailer that was just blown off the highway at I-55. We have also a power pole snapped and overturned on the center pivot. All of this is in our viewing area. Several trees and power lines down in Marks and Lambert. In Oxford, estimated wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Also, trees down are in the area. If there is a tree down, please allow the emergency officials to do what they do so they can make sure that it is removed safely. You don't know if there's power lines underneath. You don't know if those power lines are active. And the last thing you want to do is be electrocuted by a power line. That's just causing more issues, and then more emergency crews have to come out and, possibly save you there. They canceled the aerial flood advisory just a few seconds ago, and that was for Craighead, Crittenden, Cross, Lee, Mississippi, Phillips, Poinsett, St. Francis, as well as Tunica, Mississippi, Dyer, Lauderdale, Shelby, and Tipton County, Tennessee. That's pretty much all of the counties that have been removed from that tornado watch for now. I think Trevor has some more information on that storm that we are monitoring in northeast Mississippi.
Danielle, I've just been watching this area moving into Corinth, and there's not a tornado warning on it right now, but number one, there's very strong wind regardless. And you see this yellow circle here. That is an indication that there is some rotation. So as this moves into Corinth, again, there's not a tornado warning on it right now, but there still could be a spin up somewhere. Regardless, there's the damaging wind threat, but we got to watch this one very carefully. So this is right along the Highway 2, Highway 72 split coming right into downtown Corinth. You are seconds away from very strong wind in downtown Corinth. And again, we've also got that potential of a spin-up tornado somewhere in the area. That wasn't it, was it, Danielle? Okay.
No.
I just heard the noise, thought it might be. Yeah. But seriously, this is an area that could still produce a tornado as it moves through Corinth and off to the east in eastern Alcorn County. So heads up Corinth, heads up Farmington, Strickland, Kendrick, all the way over through Alcorn County. Don't let your guard down just yet. There's still the wind and still the potential of a spin up as this moves east. That
noise was actually them continuing that tornado warning there. Because there is a severe thunderstorm that could produce a tornado moving northeast at 60 miles an hour.
Okay, so all tornado warnings, though, in our coverage area have expired. And look, it's going to be turning cooler tonight. The weather's going to be calming down. A few slight chances for rain as one final line comes through. But we're wrapped up for tornado warnings right now. If one is issued, we will be back on the air. And I do invite you to join us on CW30 News at 9 for our CW30 viewers. And also on ABC, we'll have a complete wrap of what has occurred, what kind of weather you can expect. But for meteorologist Danielle Moss, meteorologist Trevor Burchett, excellent work today. Thank you. Excellent work to our entire team in the booth and everybody involved in making this possible. I'm John Bryant. We're going to wrap up our coverage.